Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Passions Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the soap opera passions. I am your regular host, LeTara, back today with Shane. Welcome back, Shane. Welcome back. How you been?
Thank you. Thank you. I've been really well, super busy right now in my life.
Oh, yeah? Oh, tell us about it. What's going on?
I am in a theatrical show that opens this Thursday, and we only run for 3 nights, so it's not a huge ordeal. But then immediately after that, I will be present at a murder mystery that I wrote for this local company that is doing a fundraiser in the neighboring town.
You have to write me a murder mystery. I will pay you. Here's the thing. We'll talk a little bit later again, but I forgot that that's something I had talked to you about. And I have been telling my friends for months now that at some point I want to do a murder mystery like karaoke party. And so I would like a murder mystery story, but then each character has like karaoke songs like that they would sing, and it'd be like well-known karaoke songs, so nobody would be like, I don't know this song, I don't, it's like, no, all stars sing, right?
Exactly.
And then there would be like group numbers and stuff like that, but it's all karaoke. So we're doing karaoke, but it's like a murder mystery musical. And so I want, if you would be willing, I will pay you to do that. I really will, because I might even commission you to do that for me for like my birthday, because I've been wanting to do that for a while. And so that's so exciting. And yeah, busy, huh?
Yes. How close is your birthday?
My birthday's far. My birthday's in November. My birthday's in November. Yeah. So you got time.
Good. So coming off of this, I need a break, but I also go right into directing my theater's summer musical, which will be SpongeBob the Musical. In a week, we start preparations for that.
Yes, I love SpongeBob the Musical. It's the best day ever. That I used to when I was teaching, I used to use Hero as my middle name and Chop to the Top for like warm-ups for my little kids, body and voice warm-ups. We would do I made up little choreography for it, but I used to love, and they used to love it. They're like, can we do Chop to the Top? I was like, yeah, of course we can. Yeah. So how fun. So anyway, this isn't about SpongeBob. This is about passions, y'all.
Which I am always happy to come back to. Like, it's been a little godsend in my life to get Passions back and watching it, because my rewatch, of course, is slowed down due to all my commitments.
Right.
And diving into this week, even though it may not have been the most exciting week, was still like, coming back home.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad it kind of, this is a good week for anybody who is like would be jumping in, because when I say they recapped every storyline with the exception of like Chad and Whitney, because Chad and Whitney were not present.
MIA.
But they recapped pretty much all of the major storylines basically from the beginning for everybody. It was boring and ridiculous. But I get why, in the scheme of like passions in 2003, why they did that, right? It's like they from time to time, they just have to remind everybody, hey, here is the character arcs, and here's where we are, and here's where they came from, and why everybody feels the way they feel, just in case you haven't been watching, because they can always hook more people in. And so I get it, but it's not the best for our podcast. So I was telling Shane before we got started, this week, I don't know that we're going to be able to stretch this into 2 episodes. There is truly nothing here. Like, no, I could do this week's recap really in 10 minutes. Like, if I really, really, really wanted to, I could just be like, yeah, Sheridan and Luis are arguing about it. Like, Sheridan and Luis have a non-problem on their hands, and I'm very irritated with them. Girl, divorce that brain dead man. It's like, oh my God. But no, each storyline is like, basically this week they're recapping what has been going on with them. So we're gonna hop in. We're talking about episodes 916 through 920, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Thank the Lord. 916 through 920. And before we get into the episodes, I want to give a shout out to all the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to Muna Shea, Lisa S, Zach, Sid, Sarana, Randall, Hannah, Camelia, Amanda, Jeanette, Eric, Jamie, Fantasia, Sean, S, Larissa, Maria, Lisa A, Jessica Jean, Laura, Karen, Uche, Paige, Casey, Garenge, Stephen Winthrop, Daisy, Shane, who's here with us today, Kelly C, Taylor Harris Crane, DJ, Kelly M, Rodo, Lisa R, Acacia, Andrew D, Andrew C, our almighty Crane, Jekyll Hyde, Michelle or MB, Kendra, Candy, Jill, and our latest patron, Trey. Thank you all. Honey, that is a list, and I love it. I want more. Give me more. No, I really appreciate you all being patrons. And if you have not become a patron yet, you can go over to patreon.com/passions podcast and sign up for whatever tier you find most agreeable. We've been having watch parties. I've been trying to do some live streaming. Listen, I'm an old lady. Nothing has shown me my age more than trying to like figure out live streaming, like on multiple platforms. I'm just like, how do these people do it? But yeah, I'm trying to do more stuff. Y'all, go ahead and put it in. Well, it's not in your calendar. You don't have to put it in your calendar because I don't have exact dates. But I think we're gonna take a cruise next year. Right? How fun would that be? Prom boat, right? Bring a prom dress, or tuxedo, and we'll do like a prom boat passions themed cruise. I think that would be so fun, and I'm serious about it. So, if you want to possibly go on the cruise with us, you need to join the Patreon so that you get the information about like the cruise and everything. Obviously, I won't be paying for everybody's cruise. No, but we're gonna put a group together to go on a cruise, maybe to the Bahamas, somewhere tropical, honey. And I was thinking maybe March or April when it's still kind of cool, and we can all get out to an island someplace and drink Mai Tais, drink martinis together. How nice would that be? So yeah, go on over to the Patreon and sign up and maybe go on a cruise with us. All right. With that, on with the show, people. On with the show. I would say really big show, but it's not. There's so little here. And I usually say like, oh, we're going to start here, start there, go there. I didn't even do that today. Where do you want to start, Shane? It doesn't matter where we start this week.
I want to start with Magic. That was my most favorite part of the week.
Sounds good to me. Magic was a lot of fun. But we didn't get much of it. And
No.
that's the unfortunate thing. We didn't get much of it, but let's start with Magic. All right. So what is going on with these magic? Yeah, my magic notes. I have such little magic notes.
I took 2 pages.
You have 2 pages of magic notes? I have like half a page. That's so funny. Great.
I don't know. Maybe I was too copious. I don't know.
No, great. Okay, so my notes pick up Kay is getting ready to all over again because she exposed them last night, but she's getting ready to confirm or reaffirm to everyone that she knows for a fact that Ivy and David are working together to destroy her parents' marriage, and that Tabitha is a witch. She's ready. She says she has the proof, and she's gonna do it. Whatever, right?
Yes, and they are all still in Tabitha's house.
No, well, they come back. Yeah, they come back.
Yeah,
because they left. Yes, that's exactly right. Because they all went home except for Kay, and then this is the next morning. Kay has woken up. She's saying like, "No, I'm clear-headed. I know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna expose you, Tabitha." Which is like, this lady let you stay in her house. She didn't have to do that. But anyway, yeah, she calls her family over to the house, and so everybody shows up. Sam and Grace show up first. Ivy and David stay behind and are like talking and plotting. I don't know why people don't understand see these 2 people together all the time and start to connect the dots and say, well, maybe Kay is onto something, because I do see them together a lot.
And they always sneak away together too. Like they'll do it again, coming up here. Like they'll be with the group, and then David and Ivy sneak away.
Yeah. they're always somewhere like whispering in a corner. It's very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
So, this was funny to me. Kay has said that she's announcing to the group, I have the proof. I'm clear headed. Da da da. Right? They're stretching it out. Tabitha runs away. Tabitha's like, I got to get out of here before she exposes me. And so she runs to her door, her back door. She tries to open it, but it won't open. It's like locked. And the boys in the basement are like, ha, 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 Tabitha. Wait, I think I have like a demon voice. Let me see if I can.
Ooh.
I know. I know. Let's see.
Ha ha ha, Tabitha, you're not going anywhere.
So
I love that. That's so great. And it ties better than what Passions had.
it is. No, they're like, you're not going anywhere. You have to stay here. And you have to convince Kay to be your helper, because she's like, well, she's gonna expose me, and she doesn't want to be my helper. And they like, you have to convince her. And then they have that big bowl of water. It like appears on her kitchen table. And so she realizes what it is that she has to do. And she's like, okay, I know what I have to do. So then she goes to the living room and she interrupts Kay and tells her, okay, Kay, dear, you have a phone call. And Kay's like, oh no, I don't. Not right now, Tabitha, right? And so Tabitha's like, well, it's Miguel. Now, here's the thing. Nobody heard a phone ring. A phone did not ring. So what do you mean she has a phone call? But everybody just accepts this. She's like, oh, it's Miguel? Okay. So Tabitha knows exactly how to play her. Right. And so she gets her to the kitchen. And you want to take it from here?
Yes, sure. So from the phone call?
Yeah.
All right. Kay goes to the kitchen and she immediately sees that the phone is still on the wall and calls Tabitha out for lying. And so Tabitha wants to show her something, and Kay tells her it's just that bowl of water, but Tabitha tells her to look inside of it, and she sees this, I guess, like little glimpse of herself with her future baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
And Kay tells Tabitha, she says, this is incredible. Wait until everyone else sees it.
Yeah. She's like, this is just more proof. Great. Mm-hmm. Thank you for supplying more proof that you are a witch. And Tabitha stops Kay and says, well, dear, before you go, don't you want to see more of your future? Mm-hmm. And Kay's like, you can do that? And Tabitha says, as you very astutely realized, I'm a witch. And as a witch, I have the power to show you what lies ahead. I know my Tabitha voice is terrible, but I do what I can. And so, of course, I have these clips. The good vision, she shows her two different visions. So we're going to watch the first vision of Kay's future, which I liked both of these clips. And Kay is so gullible because it's just so obviously fake, right? Like, it's not a real future. You'll see, listeners, dear gentle listeners, you'll see Bridgerton reference if y'all are watching Bridgerton. But
these futures I think they're a perfect example of when Passions excels. I love when they do things like this.
I agree. This was fun. It was campy. I agree. They do this kind of stuff very well. And they should do a little bit more. I could use a little bit more of it, to be honest.
Just wait till everyone gets a load of that. There won't be any doubt that you're a witch.
Hey, listen. Before you expose me, would you like to see a little bit more of your future?
You can show me that?
Of course. As you very astutely realized, I'm a witch. And as a witch, I have the power to show you what lies ahead.
Okay. Do it. That's my mom and dad. They're so happy. Just like they used to be.
There's a reason for that. Look.
Come on in.
came to surprise my beautiful wife on our anniversary.
It's Miguel. I knew he'd choose me and not Charity. Her baby brought us closer together, just like I knew it would.
And here she is, the woman I love and our beautiful baby.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. No, Miguel's supposed to marry me, not Charity. I made a tomato soup cake to celebrate your 2 years of wedded bliss.
I'll light the candles.
Okay. No, I'm pregnant with Miguel's baby. He's supposed to marry me.
Looking, there's more.
Happy anniversary.
Nothing worked out the way it was supposed to. When I lost Miguel to Charity, I lost everything. That can't be my future.
Oh, but it is, dear. And it gets worse.
Much worse. My future sucks. I have Miguel's baby and he starts a family with Charity anyway. How is that possible?
You'll see. Watch.
It's been 2 years of pure bliss. And to think we owe it all to Kay.
We do too.
What?
Thank God Kay admitted that Ivy and Dave were trying to tear us apart so we could save our marriage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if Kay hadn't told us the truth, then Ivy and David may have succeeded, and Sam and I wouldn't be together.
And Miguel and I wouldn't be together either.
Yeah, and once you two got back together, you convinced the chief that Charity and I should be together too.
Now, Grace helped me realize that Kay was in the wrong. And just because you got Kay pregnant was no reason to be saddled up with a wife that you didn't love and a kid you didn't plan on. You should be with Charity, your one true love.
But
And
Sam would
of
never
course,
say that.
Once the two of you put my happiness in front of Kay's, how could I possibly refuse this yummy man?
You know, I'm just so happy that things turned out the way they did. You know, it's like Kay and her baby were just a bad dream.
Kate and her baby.
Right.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Cheers.
It's too horrible. I can't watch it anymore.
Horrible or not, it's your future.
There's got to be a way to change it. There has to be a way to make things turn out differently.
Actually, that's true. There is.
What? Tabitha, tell me. Whatever it is, I'll do it. I don't want the future I just saw.
Work with me, Kay.
What?
Come and work with me. Keep quiet about me being a witch and forget about Ivy and David's plotting against your parents, because if you don't, that future you just saw will be yours.
All right. So let's talk about this vision.
Yes.
I enjoyed it, but I was confused as to why Miguel would be going to the Bennett home if he and Charity have been married for 2 years, right? 2 years of wedded bliss. He shows up and he says, he knocks on the door and he's like, I'm just here to surprise my beautiful wife and child.
I did not even think of that when
Your house?
watching it.
Where do y'all live? Wouldn't y'all do y'all live separately? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but
And maybe Charity was like there for the day with the baby and he's getting off work from the wharf if he still works there.
maybe, yeah. She's visiting. He knew she was visiting them, so he comes over to surprise her with flowers. Okay, sure.
Yes, because he probably knew Grace was making that awful bright orange tomato soup cake.
Oh my God, this lady and this fucking cake. It's incessant. It's incessant. She's constantly trying to shove tomato soup cake down people's throats. Stop trying to make fetch happen, Grace. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, I just love that obviously came from Tabitha's mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Grace with her tomato soup cake, and so of course tomato soup cake would play a big role because Tabitha is constantly making jokes about it. And then Charity saying, yes, once you all put my happiness in front of Kay's happiness. Oh, and the actress, I love the way she delivered the line. The whole thing was great, because those are the things that Tabitha knows are going to get under Kay's skin and get her to kind of like come over to her side, right? And then even in the vision, having her dad like turn on her, because Sam has been the main person who has been on her side consistently, right? He has been saying, I do believe you, Kay. And he has been saying, no, that Miguel and Kay have to work it out for themselves. He has not been advocating for Miguel to marry Charity over Kay. And he does care about Kay's happiness, I think. And so to see him in that vision go, yeah, no, you guys were right. Kay and her baby are... of course, Miguel shouldn't have married Kay just because she got pregnant. And then he'd have to spend his life with a woman he doesn't love. Sam would never say anything like that, but it is a fear of Kay's, right? And so Tabitha did a very good job of kind of manipulating and ginning up those really negative feelings that were already there in Kay. And so, yeah, after that first vision, Kay is resistant. She's like, I don't want to help you. I don't want to be evil. I've already done this once, and it was awful. And she's like, she's resistant. Sorry. She's resistant. So then Tabitha shows Kay an alternate future. She's like, well, things don't have to be that awful. Because I think Kay says something to the effect of like, isn't there something that can be done? There has to be a way to change it. And Tabitha's like, well, there is a way to change it, but you have to join me and look at it. You have to take back your accusations of against Ivy and David, which I hate. I said this like last week or the week before. I hate that we have connected Tabitha being a witch to Ivy and David's scheme. I hate that if one is true, the other one has to be true, and if one is false, the other one has to be false. It is irritating me, and I don't know. I guess from Tabitha's perspective, it's better for her and for the dark side if Sam and Grace are split apart and Ivy and David are continuing their like scheme and continuing to create discord in the house. But it just frustrates me. It just frustrates me that we put these two things together. Because at this point, Tabitha's main goal has nothing to do with Sam and Ivy and Grace. Her main goal is to keep Kay from exposing her as a witch, right? Like, I think Kay could very easily say, you know what, guys, Tabitha's not a witch. She's not a witch. But Ivy and David, I did hear them, and I did hear that months ago. Like, I thought I saw the stuff with Tabitha last night after I bumped my head, and it was weird, and I just wasn't thinking clearly. But I did see that months ago. We were at the park. I saw them talking together, and I heard exactly what they said, and so I still stand by that. That could have been so easy. But no. Tabitha shows her a second future. And tells her, you have to get this future, you have to basically take back all of your accusations about me and Ivy and David.
Join Team Tabitha, and that's what she has to do, because she literally pitches it as Team Tabitha.
Team Tabitha, get on the winning team. Okay, so let's watch Kay's happy ending. We saw Kay's sad ending. Now we're gonna see Kay's happy ending. But yeah, I do like these visions. Oops.
And this one's so much better.
Yeah, I love this one. No, as a matter of fact, I wasn't gonna pull that first vision. I wasn't gonna pull it. And then I watched this one and I was like, well, if I'm gonna put this one, I feel like I should put the other one in it too. Because I got to this one, I was like, oh hell yeah. Particularly the stuff with Grace and Charity.
Yes.
So good.
Join Team Tabitha and refute the fact that I'm a witch and forget about David and Ivy's plotting. Your future can be quite different, much more to your liking.
How do I know you're not just saying that?
See for yourself, dear.
Hello, darling.
Ivy, you're back from Paris?
Yes, my wee. And I brought you the entire spring collection from your favorite designer, along with some beautiful jewelry.
Wow. It is beautiful. Thank you.
Oh.
So nice of you to be so wonderful to me.
Oh, it is my pleasure. After you told everyone that you just imagined that David and I were working together, well, thanks to you, Sam and I are married now. Oh, I will buy you jewelry, furs, clothes, whatever you want. The sky's the limit.
Ivy would do all that for me?
Keep watching, dear. It gets better.
Yeah.
No.
I love that he's shirtless.
I got you these on my way home from the gym.
Thank you. They're beautiful.
Not as beautiful as you. You, my beautiful wife, and the loving mother of our firstborn child. I am so glad that I finally realized you're the woman I truly love, and not your boring cousin Charity. Now our lives are perfect.
Yeah, I'm perfect.
That's your boring cousin, Charity. Oh, I love that.
And Grace, where will we go? What will we do?
How the hell should I know? And would you shut up? God, you're getting on my nerves.
But Grace, you're the only family that I have.
Oh, please. You don't need to remind me. I lost Sam, my bed and breakfast, my little gift shop. All because I kept trying to get you and the gal back together over Kay and Sam's objections. I mean, what kind of idiot am I? Choosing you over my daughter and my husband? You? You psychic freak?
Oh my god.
Talk about a happy ending.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Sorry. No, God. So you psychic freak? Slap. Just
Dana Sparks played that bit so well, and I wish they had given her more things like that in some way, even if she had to be possessed or evil or something.
yes, I wish I gave her more. I will say, I think, honestly, I think Grace or Dana Sparks, the actress specifically, this week does the most interesting stuff. Like, she got to do that in that vision, which was fun. And then later on, we see her really kind of like standing up for herself and having a little more edge. And I enjoyed her performance this week. Of course, you know, I don't always agree with Grace. I
No.
rarely agree with Grace, but I agree with her this week. I did. I was like, yeah, that girl she got to go. She cannot stay in your house. I feel the same way about Ivy as I do about Liz. She has to go. She can't stay here. But these visions. So Kay now has been thoroughly manipulated by Tabitha, because I mean, none of that second fantasy is that second vision is so fantastical, right? It's absurd to think that Grace is going to be so awful to Charity, right? She just would never. But that's exactly what Kay wants. She wants Grace to be angry with Charity and to slap Charity and to realize how dumb she is for choosing Charity over Kay. And so Tabitha showed Kay exactly what she wanted to see.
Exactly. She showed her that also Ivy would be nice to her, which Kay feels that she doesn't get from her own mother. And we know Ivy would never be that way because Ivy's not even that way with her own daughters.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, Kay doesn't know Ivy at all. And so Tabitha could have shown her anything about Ivy, really. right? Because she doesn't know Ivy at all. But still, just to think that Ivy's gonna let to come. I don't know. Have you ever seen? Also, Ivy was walking.
Exactly. Kay didn't think anything of seeing her just waltz in the room, no wheelchair.
Also, Ivy was walking. The whole thing was so fantastical. I love that. Of course, in this future, Miguel's shirtless when he shows up to the house. Right? They do look good together. I will say, Kay and Miguel. They have a lot of chemistry together. I think
They do.
more so than Miguel and Charity did, or do, because they're kind of together, I guess. But yeah, those visions, top notch, particularly that second one where Grace is going off on Charity. Also, why would she lose her B&B? Why would she lose her what did she call it, a gift shop? She called it something. My little gift shop. Why would she lose the B&B in the shop if she and Sam weren't together anymore? I don't.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that either. Maybe somehow Sam got it in the divorce because he probably built it.
Yeah, maybe. So, so yeah, those are the visions. Of course, Kay has been pretty thoroughly manipulated by this, and then Tabitha tells Kay another reason she should work with her is she says, well, you are a Standish woman and you have supernatural powers, just like Charity and Grace. And she offers to teach her how to use her powers so that she can get everything she wants. She says, come and work with me, Kay, and I will help you develop the powers to get what you want. Everything, even Miguel. I love it. I love this. I love these two getting together, this dynamic duo. I love that they're about to, wreak havoc on this town together. And so while this conversation is happening in the kitchen, Sam and Grace are talking. And Ivy and David have left again and are talking to each other while Sam and Grace are talking. And Sam starts to say, as he's looking around, he's picking up stuff. He's like, Tabitha has not aged. And since I've been alive, and I'm 40 years old. And then my dad said the same thing, that she's always kind of been the same age. And he starts to think, a lot of crazy things have happened to us recently. And they, of course, bring up the murder of crows, the unkindness of ravens, the blood from the walls, the portal to hell in the house. They bring all that up. And so he says, maybe what Kay's saying about Tabitha could be true. I mean, it certainly would explain a lot. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. It certainly would explain a lot.
And for a brief second, Grace is with him because she also points out that she's never seen Tabitha in Mass.
Yes, she sure does. She says, well, I haven't ever seen her at Mass. Yeah. Why haven't you seen her in Mass?
And Sam suggests maybe the evil Father Lonigan is talking about is Tabitha.
He says, Father Lonigan's always talking about evil is in harmony. Maybe Tabitha's what he's talking about. It is, I don't know if it was at this exact point or it doesn't matter. My notes are a mess. Eventually, Kay comes back into the room. She joins them again after agreeing to basically join Tabitha.
It was after that because Grace essentially shuts it all down. So I said for a brief second she was with him, but then she shuts it all down because Tabitha loved Timmy, and and Grace even says maybe she had a facelift 2 or 3.
Yeah, she said maybe she had a facelift or 2 or 3. But girl, how has she been alive for 200 years? Right? But whatever. But yes, Kay comes back and she gives an apology. She says, I know I brought you all here, and I want to apologize. I'm clear-headed today. I had bumped my head last night and I wasn't thinking clearly, but I want to apologize to Ivy and David. I didn't hear them talking, and I want to apologize to you, Tabitha. of course you're not a witch, and thank you so much for letting me stay here. And she does take a moment though where she talks to Ivy and David, because at this point they've come back. And she basically lets on that, or it's kind of like a wink wink nudge nudge, like, oh yeah, of course, I sorry I suspected you two. I'm sure nothing untoward is going on between the two of you, nothing at all, right? And it is at that point, for whatever reason, that Ivy finally realizes that Kay really does know what's going on. But it's like, she said exactly what she said. She already exposed your entire plan. Of course she knows what's going on. It was so weird to me that at that moment, Ivy was like, oh my God, Kay knows. Yeah, girl, where the fuck have you been all night? Where were you last night? Like, she
popping pills.
Yeah, popping pills. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Those pills are getting her all. She's all cloudy headed, is she not? But yeah, Kay basically says to David and Ivy, in not so many words, but like, I do know what's going on, but I'm not gonna press the issue any further. Basically, they wonder why she's keeping quiet. David says, if there's one thing I know, Kay is evil. What about you?
Exactly.
That man is one of the worst. I really, the more I watch this show, and I know I talk shit about like most of the men on the show. Yeah, I talk shit about most of the men on the show, but there is a hierarchy, right? Of like worst to least worst. David is up there with Antonio sometimes for me. He really is. We all know that Antonio is the absolute worst, right?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We know Antonio's at the top of the hierarchy of the worst. And then, I mean, and Alistair's at the top, but Alistair's like an outlier because he's like the villain, right? Like, he's a flat out monster. So I have to kind of take him out sometimes because there's no comparison between, I don't like Antonio because he's so self-centered and because he's has no real personality outside of loving Sheridan. There's no comparison between that and Alistair, who like is a murderer and a rapist.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He's a monster. So, but yeah, Antonio's definitely at the top of the hierarchy. And then I don't know, man. David is sometimes, for me, David falls right under him.
Same.
He irritates me. He really irritates me because he's putting on this like good guy act. He knows he knows he's not a good guy, but he's so quick to talk shit about Ivy and even to talk about Kay. And also, I've not forgotten that he put his hands on Kay. I've forgotten. And she has not done anything to him. Nothing. She hasn't done anything to him. In this moment, as a matter of fact, you're the one doing something to her. You're trying to disrupt her family. You have broken up her parents' marriage. And in fact, she's saving your ass on this. But if there's one thing I know, Kay is evil. Well, you are benefiting from Kay not saying anything. You could say something. You could speak up. What irritates me so much about David is he's such a hypocrite. He is such a complete and utter hypocrite. And later on, he and Eve have a conversation. They have a meeting of their little Ivy's
blackmailing us club.
Yeah, the Ivy blackmail support group. And even in that conversation, it's like he's telling Eve, well, Eve, you have to tell the truth, and it'll be better if you tell TC now. But his motivations for that are not pure. Right. No. He doesn't want to be the one to do the dirty work. Right. He wants somebody else, because if Eve exposes her own secret to TC, she will have no reason not to expose Ivy at that point. Right. Her whole reasoning for not exposing Ivy was because she didn't want her secret to come out. But if she does tell the truth, then everything, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down, right? And so I think on some level, that's what David wants. He just doesn't want to have to be the one to do it.
Exactly. He still wants to look good and look like a victim himself.
Exactly. He wants to be the perpetrator and the villain. He is the perpetrator, but he wants to. I'm sorry, I said all the wrong words. He is the perpetrator, but he acts like he's the victim. Exactly. Yes, he is the perpetrator, but he acts like he's the victim. He's a perp. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Didn't I used to have like some Law and Order music on here. I think it got deleted.
Oh no.
Yeah, at one point everything kind of got deleted from this, and I had to add all the sounds back. And I don't think I managed to get them all the ones I had originally on here back. But that's fine. Anyway, yeah. Kay knocks on the basement door.
Yes.
And she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna work with you, and I want to get do you have a quote? Do you have anything? Because all I have is Kay is welcome to the dark side by the boys in the basement."
So she goes to the basement door and she says she wants the life that she saw in the bowl, and if helping Tabitha is the way I have to do it, count me in.
Yep. And so they're like, let me see.
Welcome to the dark side, Kay Bennett.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes,
a lot of fun. Well, I'm excited to see. Do you have any more to add? That's all my notes. You said you had 2 pages.
I did, and we got through most of it. I did jot down the little bit where Ivy and David had snuck away outside somehow unnoticed by Grace and Sam. And they're just worrying about if the truth comes out, Sam will kill him. And David tells Ivy that Grace will tear her from limb. But like the other thing in the show that always gets a jab is Ivy's paralyzation. He's like, well, at least from the waist up.
Yeah. So.
And that was pretty much it. I did also note one other thing is when Kay saw the future in the bowl that she wanted, she asked Tabitha if her future will be that way. And Tabitha says it can be, which is the phrase Kay did not note, because Tabitha just tells her it's possible, but she just latches on to it.
Yeah. She says it can be if you tell back off all of this, and then I can help you get that future. But it's all a lie.
Yes.
It's obviously all a lie. Bless Kay's little heart. She's gullible.
Tabitha knows how to manipulate her, just like Kay thinks Charity is that gullible as well. I mean, she kind of is, but Kay is too, and to some degree.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and she wants what she wants, and Tabitha is really the first person to tell her you can have what you want. The first person to tell her you can have what you want, and I'm willing to help you get it. Right?
Yes.
So I think she's kind of hedging her bets and saying, yeah, you know what? I think this could work for me. I think this could work for me. So, all right. Yeah. Where would you like to go next? Where would you like to steer off to?
I guess since we talked about Grace and Sam, we should go into trouble marriages.
I agree. I agree. So let's talk about the more of the trouble marriages, the Grace, Sam, and Ivy stuff. It is the next, I know it's the same day. It's the same day. It's just that Ivy has like disappeared. They're back to the Bennett home. Sam comes in and asks Grace, where's Ivy? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, she must have gone somewhere. We find out later that she went to the mansion to get her own things and pack up her stuff. But at the house, Grace is looking up apartments. She's furiously typing, looking up apartments. She's on Zillow. She's on apartments.com. She's on Street Easy. She's going to find Ivy somewhere to be that is not her damn house. And I am all for it. All for it. I love that she's being proactive about this. She's like, Ivy cannot stay here. So she is looking for an apartment for Ivy, and she tells Sam that that's what's going on. They then argue. They argue for 4 episodes.
I was going to say for days, it felt like.
They argue about Ivy. They argue about David. They argue about Kay. They need to get divorced. They argued for so long. It got ridiculous at a certain point. But Grace makes some good points. Sam makes some good points. Both of them, they make some good points, but I'm more so on Grace's side of we need to get Ivy out of the house. So basically, let's talk about this argument. Sam argues that they can't throw Ivy out into the cold winter, and Grace insists that they need to get rid of the people trying to come between them, and that means Ivy. And then Sam pleads for Grace to give Ivy more time. He says, Sam pleads for Grace to give Ivy more time, and Grace says to Sam, Ivy will be fine. If there's one thing I know about Ivy Crane, she's a survivor. If I know anything about her, she's a survivor. She ain't gonna give up. She's not gonna stop. What? She gonna go harder. That's true. Like, that song really fits Ivy Crane. But she said, if there's one thing I know about Ivy, she is a survivor. She goes on to say, I love you and I don't want to risk the chance of losing you. And that means steering clear of everyone and anyone that could threaten our future together. It's interesting that she uses this wording because, girl, obviously the next thing Sam's going to say is, what about David? What about David? And so Sam suggests, he says, well, if Ivy can't stay here, why can't she stay at the B&B? And Grace shoots it down. She's like, there's the whole first floor is booked and she can't, it's not wheelchair accessible for her. We don't have an elevator for her to go up the stairs. And then Sam points out her hypocrisy. He's like, why is it okay for your first love, David, to stay at the B&B, but Ivy can't? He says, you share a son with David and think nothing of asking me to accept the fact that he's a boarder at your B&B. And you can't stomach the idea of Ivy living next door. But it's all right for John and David to stay there as long as they like. Why is it okay for your first love and not for Ivy? Grace says, it's different, Sam. It's different. And Sam's like, how? How is it different? She says, well, David isn't trying to break us up. This might be the quote of the episode. And the reason why is because when he said it, I was saying it at the exact same time. Like, we said this line at the exact same time. Sam says, if David isn't trying to break us up, then what is he doing? Yeah, do I have a ding, ding, ding? I don't have a ding, 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 but I'll do this. If David's not trying to break us up, then what is he doing? That's exactly what I said. When she said, well, David isn't trying to break us up, I said, then what is he doing? What does it look like he's doing to you, girl? And then Sam says, he's always around, mooning over you, reminding you that you're still married to him. And Grace says, well, David has done nothing but be supportive of me and our situation. She says, he isn't trying to split us up. Ivy is. She's always manipulating things, trying to worm her way back into your life. And it's crazy because if these two fucking people could just get on the same page, this would not be an issue. Like, if Grace, because I think Sam has no issue with saying, you know what, you're right, let's get Ivy out of here, let's get back to our marriage. He likes that that's where Grace's head is at. He appreciates that. But it is a sticking point for him that she won't let go of David.
Yes.
And she won't let go of David. And rightfully so. It should be a sticking point for him that she won't let go of David. And I think that's why he keeps kind of advocating for Ivy, is because he's like, well, if what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Like, why can you do it and I can't? We're in the same situation. And I've been and the difference between what's going on with Sam and Ivy and Grace and David is that Sam has never, not once, faltered in what he's saying to Grace about their marriage, that he wants to be with her, that he wants their marriage, that he wants their family, that he wants things to go back to the way they were. He has said that over and over and over and time again. Grace is the one who hasn't been so sure. Grace is the one who's been on shaky ground. Grace is the one who's been putting him out. Grace is the one who's been making him sleep on the couch. Grace is the one, and we're going to get to it because she pissed me off. Grace is the one who put the annulment to a halt. Yeah. She's the one that did that. And so I think for Sam, it's like there's only so much one man's ego can fucking take. There's only so much one man's ego can take, right? Like he has been very, in my opinion, he has been very understanding about Grace's feelings about John and David. He has been very understanding about the fact that they live in the B&B. He's been very understanding about the fact that they come and go in his house as they fucking please. He's been very understanding about the fact that he found his wife in bed with David. Right? Yeah. They didn't even fight about that, really. He was just like, I don't have time for this. He just accepted it. He's been swallowing her shit for months at this point. And now he's saying, yeah, you know, he does care about Ivy. He does. And he doesn't want her out on the street in the cold. And so he's trying to find ways where they can help her. And Grace is not interested in her being anywhere near them. And I get that too. I get that too, because Grace is not wrong. Grace isn't wrong. So
she's only wrong about David.
she's only wrong about David. And like I said, if these two people could just get on the same page, I think if Grace could just accept and give up on David in general and acquiesce to Sam saying, hey, I don't want David around. I don't want him around as much. Because, like, it's one thing to spend time with your son. It's another thing entirely to be spending time with a man that is in love with you and is mooning over you and wants you to be his wife and is constantly reminding us that you are his wife. Like I said, there's only so much somebody. It gets to a point. And so... Anyway, Grace is lying to herself. David has been nothing but supportive of me and our situation, and he's not trying to split us up the way Ivy is. Yes, he obviously is, dummy. So they continue to have this argument. Let's talk about what's going on with Ivy. Ivy goes back to the mansion to get her thing. She's like, Phyllis was always such a useless maid, because Phyllis was supposed to be packing up her stuff and sending it over to the Bennett home. But Ivy's like, you want anything done right, you have to do it yourself, basically. So she goes over to the mansion and she goes into her bedroom, or what once was her bedroom, and she finds Rebecca like rummaging and going through her things, and like she had a giant bag she was like stuffing shit into, like robbing her. Rebecca was in there robbing her, and she's like, Rebecca, what the hell is going on in here? And Rebecca's just like, oh, Ivy, I was just packing some things for you. I was packing up some things for you. What do you think was going on? And Ivy's like, I don't know. The first thing that came to mind is that you were robbing me blind. And of course, Rebecca feigns ignorance. Like, no, of course not. And tries to cover up. But you know what? Ivy's like, you know what, Rebecca? Whatever. Take what you want. What do I care about my furs and my gowns now that I'm living in the same house with the man I love? I mean, great. Good for her. I mean, Ivy does love Sam.
Yes.
That's obvious. Like, that she's like, when she's saying, like, what do I care? You can take it all. All I want is Sam. It is obsession. She does have an obsession, but it is rooted in love. It's rooted in true love.
There was probably a time since she was stuck in that marriage that those furs and gowns got her through it without having Sam. So now she's letting go of that because she thinks she's going to move in with him.
Yeah, she thinks. So Rebecca says to her, she's like, oh, who have you become? She's like, I can't even believe that you want to spend one night in a house that size. You told me they don't even have a maid. Like, Rebecca, most people don't have maids.
Exactly.
And Ivy says, so what? I'll wash the clothes. I'll even vacuum the floors all day if it means being near Sam. And now that I've moved into his house, there's no way I'm leaving. And then later on, she tells Rebecca that she would live in a cave with Sam just to be near him. And then she says that now that she's moved in, she's not leaving. They say the same stuff a lot.
Yes.
Then Ivy recaps her whole storyline. she gets this far off, distant look in her eye, and she's like, yes, if back then when I married Julian and he tricked me and my father tricked me, and then I had to go to Sam, but I was pregnant with Sam's son and I had to pass him off as Julian's, but it was going to be the greatest revenge on the Cranes. And like she just recaps the entire thing about how she was going to have Ethan take over the Crane Empire just to get revenge on them.
Yes. Because Gwen came into the room. To talk to her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gwen's in the room at this point. And Gwen realizes, listening to Ivy talk about about Sam, she realizes that Ivy is obsessed with the idea that she and Sam were meant to be. And Gwen tells Ivy, you sound exactly like Teresa. You're just like Teresa, Ivy. And so, of course, Ivy doesn't take well to this, but I have this clip. Let's watch this because I thought this was a good one. I don't have a ton of clips this week. I think I only have like 8, but.
You're always so suspicious. Oh, you must have inherited that from your father. Oh, no, don't change the subject. What are you up to, Ivy? Ooh, nothing as immoral or as impertinent as you are suggesting. Might I remind you that Sam and Grace aren't even legally married? You're splitting hairs. Come on, Grace doesn't even remember being married to David Hastings. Well, too bad for her. She is, which makes Sam legally a free man. How very convenient for you. I don't know what you mean. Neither do I. Then stop accusing me of wrongdoing. I am the real victim in all of this. I was with Sam first. Grace stole him away from me, and I deserve to have him back. Ivy, you're rewriting history. You had already married Julian before Sam even met Grace. It's a minor detail. Sam and I were meant to be together. We were always meant to be together. It's our fate. Oh, my God. What is it? You sound exactly like Teresa. You are exactly like her.
No, Ivy did not like that. But she's right. She said she said Teresa's tagline. She said it's fate, right? She said Teresa's whole thing. So like it's crazy to me that Ivy doesn't see it. But here's the next part of this clip. Ivy's response, Ivy's rebuttal, if you will.
How dare you compare me to Teresa? I'm nothing like Teresa.
You're not?
Absolutely not. Teresa is a lying tramp. She would do anything to get Ethan. She would tell any lie, manipulate any situation. She would do any underhanded thing to get Ethan away from you.
Why are you laughing, Gwen? Mother, listen to her. Ivy, are you really going to tell me that you would never lie to get Sam, or you would never cheat or do anything underhanded to make sure that he was your own?
You're not going anywhere, David. You're going to stay and finish the job I hired you to do. Break up Sam and Grace for good.
Now that I've made sure that Grace is the only one having dessert, I'll make sure I'm the only one having Sam. Come to me, Sam.
Grace?
Come back to me.
Yeah, so It's the clips are great. I appreciate that they showed that montage of Ivy. Only a handful of some of the horrible things that Ivy has done in her pursuit of Sam. That did not even scratch the surface. All they showed us was her drugging Grace, right? We saw that. We saw, what else did we see just now?
Let's see. She drugged Grace. She was in the that lodge cabin thing in the winter when Grace was in bed after she passed out, and we see her in the dark calling out to Sam.
Oh, and then we see her on the phone talking about her schemes. Yeah. Like I said, it is a drop in the bucket compared to some of the other things. Like, she, in her pursuit of Sam, she has drugged Whitney. She has blackmailed David. She has blackmailed Eve. She has had DNA tests changed. She has used John in her scheme and made him believe that Grace is his mother. She also, because I'm trying to remember why she did the thing with the cocaine with Crystal, but it definitely has something to do with Sam. Everything she does is motivated by Sam. Either, think what Ivy is. Everything she does is either motivated by wanting to get Sam or wanting to fucking kill Teresa, right?
Yes,
Right?
that's her two goals.
Teresa. Those are her two things in life. Ruin Teresa, get Sam. Those are like her two things. So everything she does, for the most part, has been like in pursuit of Sam. And she's done, like I said, she's done so many awful things. And I mean, she pulled a gun on Eve. Now, Eve pulled a gun on her too, but you know.
And she helped frame Teresa for murder, right? That was her and Rebecca, not Rebecca and Gwen.
She did. She definitely helped frame Teresa for murder. Now, that didn't have to do with her getting Sam. That was about her revenge against Teresa.
True, but it's that other thing.
But it is a horrible, like, if we want to do like an annotated list of like all of the awful things that Ivy has done, regardless of what her motives were, it would be long. It is a very long list of horrible, horrible shit. And you know, it's fun to watch, but it's just so interesting that she takes such an issue with being compared to Teresa when she is the fucking blueprint. She is Teresa's blueprint. She is. As I've said before, Ivy is the final boss. You gotta get past. If you can't get past Ivy, you ain't winning the game.
No.
Right? And I got a feeling that Grace isn't about to get past this final boss. Like, we don't see it this week, but I don't think Grace is getting past. I don't think Grace is getting her out of this house. I don't think Grace has made some excellent points, but I don't think she's getting her out of the house. And so let's see. So Ivy, of course, she's taken issue with what Gwen has said about her, comparing her to Teresa. She says, please don't put me in the same this was a great line. Please don't put me in the same category as Teresa. She is a rank amateur and she's vicious. May I remind you that she did try to ruin all of our lives. All I'm trying to do is get back into the arms of the man I have loved all my life. I mean, call her a rank amateur is hilarious. She is a rank amateur. And it's just like, the fact that she's calling Teresa and like, don't put me in the same category as Teresa. I'm much worse than her. She's an amateur. I'm the real deal. Right? And then her saying like, may I remind you, she tried to ruin all our lives. When she said that line, Rebecca and Gwen both looked visibly like nervous, like a little guilty. They kind of give each other a little side eye because they understand that Ivy is referring to the tabloid situation and that they are the ones who did that. And so, yeah, Ivy tells Rebecca that she's determined to win Sam back no matter what. She says would even have a middle-class life doing dishes and hanging the laundry just to be with him. And so that's what happened at the mansion. You have anything to add at the mansion before I go back to the Bennetts and what's going on over there?
Well, I love a good jab. And when Rebecca and Gwen and Ivy are all talking, Ivy is catching Gwen up a little bit, telling Rebecca how Ivy wants to go live in that small house with no bathrooms and wants to make tomato soup cakes all day to be with Sam.
Yeah.
So I loved that. And then when Ivy kicks him out of the room, I still put this in in Trouble Marriages because Gwen is still talking about Ivy. She has a comment, and this one I did take down. But essentially, Gwen tells Rebecca that if Grace doesn't get Ivy out of her house, she will ruin her marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, the thing about Gwen this week, I have nothing negative to say about Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing
I don't
bad
either.
to say about Gwen this week. I love that she clocked Ivy. I love that she sees Ivy for who she is, and that she sees the similarities between Ivy and Teresa. And even later on in the week, when she's so excited about her sonogram, and and she looked good this week. I really liked her outfit. I was looking at her in the clip, and I really liked that like lavender shirt with the ruffle with the skirt. And I know Maria right now is thinking, ha 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 ha, I've got her. She's coming over to Gwen's side. No, I don't have anything bad to say about Gwen this week. I actually pretty much every time she spoke, I enjoyed what she had to say every single time. I was like, yeah, great.
Same. I was surprised because Gwen's not one of my favorite characters because I'm totally Team Teresa. But when she's utilized as a sounding board for Ivy and Sheridan's best friend, I really don't mind her.
Yeah. Yes. Anything outside of the Teresa stuff, it's like I like her. I really do. So,
which goes to illustrate she should just get away from Ethan.
My God, this show, we will never get away from Ethan. We will never get away from Ethan. He's so self-righteous. Oh God. Well, and we'll get there. So, let's see. Where are we? Okay. So let's talk about what's going on with Sam and Grace back at the house. They're still arguing. They're still fighting about Ivy. And then Grace tells Sam that she has found an apartment for Ivy and she wants her out immediately. She says, Ivy needs to move out of this house and that will save our marriage, basically. And then she says, Sam, you know what stress she says, Sam, you know what stress our relationship is under already. I mean, our daughter is pregnant and she has moved into the next door neighbor's house. And you're right. I do still have some issues with David and my son, John. And then Sam says, I still can't believe this issue with David is still with us. Sometimes I think that you don't want David out of our lives. And Grace says, Sam, no more than you don't want Ivy out of your life because she's the mother of your son. She says, the issue with David is not that I want him. The only one I want is you. I love you. You know, it just means that David and I have to get our marriage annulled, and then you and I can be married again, get married again. But you destroyed the annulment, Grace. You destroyed the annulment. It hasn't been that long, right? Since she pressured David into saying that he loves her. So that Father Lonigan would tear up the annulment papers. She did that. And now she's talking about, oh, well, I just have to get this marriage annulled with David. Well, you've already put a roadblock to that. You've already said that you can't get an annulment because David loves you and he's not going to stop fucking loving you. And you don't have any control over that, actually. So what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I know that they can get this marriage annulled, whether David loves her or not. I know that. But in Passions, what they have told us, what is canon in the show, is that they cannot get an annulment because David loves Grace. And because David loves Grace, Father Lonigan refuses to grant them an annulment. And so, girl, you either are going to have to just get a divorce, or let David lie about it, but you weren't willing to do that before.
No, and it makes Father Lonigan the bad guy again. But if it's so easy, Grace, just do it. Like, this part infuriated me because I was like, then do it. If that's all you have to do, then do it.
Then do it. It irritated. Just do it. Just do it. You remember those Shia LaBeouf like video? I don't know. It was like on YouTube. Do it. No, that's just me.
No, I vaguely remember it.
Just do it. Anyway, yeah, just do that, girl. Get a divorce. But she's so wrapped up in being a Catholic that she's like, oh, well, we can't get divorced because Sam had floated that idea to her as well, that they should just get a divorce. And then he and her can get married again. And then she was like, but you know, the church won't recognize it and we won't be married in the eyes of God. I can't understand. I'm just not religious, so I struggle with this. I do. I really, really struggle with it because I just do not understand putting religious dogma over real life, real world sensibilities, over reality, right? Like, surely God could be a little more compromising. And actually it's not God. I'm about to get a little now I'm about to go off a little bit. That's not God. That's some man made up at the Vatican, right? Like, that's not God's law. But again, no offense to the Catholics. This is like fake Catholicism too. Like, I want to say, because I did work at Catholic schools and for quite some time. Love the Catholics. They really know how to party. They drink a lot. I will say, coming from like a Southern Christian tradition, because I'm not religious, but I grew up religious, right? I grew up in a religious household. I grew up like Pentecostal. You know what Pentecostal is?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I grew up Pentecostal. That's some real like overly religious shit. Like, it's crazy. Laying hands and speaking in tongues and all of that.
Yes.
But so in my religious tradition, like, drinking was like, you didn't drink at church. Like, alcohol was like very taboo in general, and there's a lot of stigma around that. But it was so shocking to start working like at Catholic churches, because also I used to sing at a lot of Catholic churches, and they would have like wine receptions. I'm like,
yeah,
what? And they would be getting drunk.
And communion is wine.
They have real wine at communion. Yeah, I never took communion at any Catholic churches because, in the way, one, I'm not religious, but two, the way that I was raised, if you were not a member of that church, like if you weren't baptized in whatever church, like in that particular denomination, you weren't allowed to take communion. So like I was baptized. I was actually baptized 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? It didn't take. It didn't take. I was baptized 3 times. Yeah. I was baptized Baptist because so basically what happened was my grandma wanted me baptized at her church. My granddad wanted me baptized at his church. And then I got baptized again at like my mom's church. And so I got baptized Baptist at my grandma's church. I got baptized Church of God in Christ, at my granddaddy's church, and then Pentecostal. So I've been baptized 3 different times. Did fucking work. But I don't know why I'm rambling about being baptized. But basically, you weren't allowed to take communion. So I can't. I didn't believe in taking communion at other places of worship where I hadn't been baptized in like their faith. So since I wasn't baptized Catholic, I never took communion. But also, I'm not religious, so I would just not take communion. It's weird.
It is.
I'm gonna cut that out. No, I'm not. It is weird.
No, it is weird. And the first time I ever had one of those wafers, I nearly choked because it would taste like wood. Yeah. And I was like, am I supposed to eat it? Do I spit it out? I don't know.
I did. Growing up, that was another thing we did. It was shocking to see like in the Catholic churches that they had communion every day or at every service, because we had communion once a month. The first Sunday of the month, you have communion, and it was always grape juice. We always had little cups of grape juice, and we had those little like oyster crackers. So it was a nice little treat. Communion was a nice little treat. So
Now, I'd always wanted to try the wafers, in part because I'd seen it on shows like Days of Our Lives and Passions.
mm-hmm.
And so when I finally did, I was like, this is terrible. I can't eat it. And what does it say about me if I can't eat it?
I've never had the Holy Sacrament. I've never had it. I've only, like I said, I've only had Southern Communion with Welch's grape juice and oyster crackers.
I choked it down, but it was terrible. And that was when I first had wine too. And I didn't know it was wine when I had it, and it burned.
Oh,
and I was in college, so it burned when I drank it. And I whispered it to my best friend who had taken it too. And my best friend, who was not religious, he's like, well, that's because you're Satan. He whispered that back to me in church.
No, I've always found it interesting the way that they did communion. We're off topic at this point, but I always found it interesting the way they do communion, like where you go up and then the priest like puts it in your mouth, and that sounded real bad.
That's what I do.
No, but like that they give it to you when everybody's like drinking from the cup, and they wipe the cup, and it always, I always found it so odd. But it's just, different strokes for different folks. Everybody's doing something different. It's just crazy to think that there's like this whole world of like religiosity that is happening, all these different worlds, and when they collide or when they cross over, if you go one place to the other, like changes your worldview. You're like, oh man, that's crazy. I never even considered that y'all would be drinking wine at church. I never even considered it. And
then you have Passions, who takes a real life religion and makes it its own thing.
Yeah, they have Passions Catholicism. This is its own sect. They are in a little cult in Harmony. They're in a little Catholic type of cult in Harmony. And Father Lonigan is their cult leader.
Yes.
He's their cult leader. And he's exerting too much control over their lives. Because what do you mean you won't let me get an annulment because this man still loves me?
This is why we root for Tabitha against Father Lonigan.
Exactly. So anyway, where were we? I went all the way off on a tangent about church.
About how Grace says all she has to do is get an annulment. And Sam's reply to that is perfect, because he says, I live for the day that happens.
Yep. I'd like to see the day. I'll have you. I'll believe it when I see it, Grace. And then Grace tells him, he's like, well, has it really been that much of a strain on our marriage? You think Ivy being here is what really put that much stress on our marriage? And Grace tells him, yes. I mean, it's hard enough just seeing you carry her up the stairs to the bedroom, right? Yeah. I mean, they should make her sleep on the couch. They should.
Exactly. I mean, they had no problem putting Kay on the floor.
Yeah. Sam should sleep in Kay's bed, and Ivy should sleep on the couch. Sam's been sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
Good enough for Sam. It should be good enough for Ivy. And then Grace goes on this long diatribe about basically more recap. She's like, I've seen so much happen in my life. The wall started bleeding. The birds attacked the house. A portal to hell opened in my house. We heard that like 4 times this week.
Yes.
Bring that up again. Which is why I find it so wild that they refused last week to believe Kay about Tabitha being a witch. I mean, and they shut it down immediately. They didn't even consider it. And they didn't consider it until this week. And by that point, it was too late. But yeah, she goes on this whole thing. She's like, and I'm not the same innocent young girl with amnesia that you married. I am not going to be anyone's doormat ever again. Okay, Grace. I get that. She's like, I've been through a lot. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago when we met. And I appreciate that she says, I am not going to be anyone's doormat ever again, because Grace has been a doormat.
She has, and I appreciate that too. But my reply was that GIF of Marsha from the Brady Bunch movie that says "Sure, Jan."
Sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. Yeah. Yeah. Because Ivy doesn't care if you decide to be a doormat. She will make you a doormat.
Exactly.
She will be trampling upon you. And wiping her feet as she goes. So at this point, Grace says Ivy's got to move out, and she's got to move out today, right? Ivy comes back. Ivy comes back. She comes zooming in, and she hears this, but she kind of pretends like she didn't hear it. And she's like, oh, what's going on here? Is there a problem, Grace? Is there a problem? Oh, and Grace is like, oh, we're just gonna, Ivy pretends to have a misunderstanding because Grace says something to the effect of, yes,
you don't have to worry about a place to stay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a place to stay. And Ivy's like, oh, thank you, Grace. And she starts taking off her coat. She's like, thank you, Grace. You don't understand how much of a load off of this is. And I promise to be, I'm so grateful that you're going to let me stay here, da-da-da. Grace is like, skirt, stop, babe. You've misunderstood me. You won't be staying here. I found you a new place. We found you a place, and you can move in today. She says before the end of the day, you'll be moving into your new home and out of hours. And Ivy looks to Sam. She says, Sam, did you do this? Is this what you want? And Sam doesn't say anything. Grace speaks for him. She puts her arm around him and says, Sam and I are married. Married couples make their decisions together. We've decided together that you will be moving out. You can't stay here, Ivy. You're moving out today. I loved it. I loved it. I love this. Grace didn't even give Sam a chance. I did.
It's a side we rarely see of Grace.
Yeah, I like we never see Grace really like steamroll, right? But she's standing her ground, and I can appreciate that she's standing up. Because I've said it a bunch of times. Stand up, Grace. You know, and I'm glad. I'm happy to see her stand up. I am. I'm sure Karen doesn't like it so much. Our legal eagle, because she loves Ivy so much. But I appreciate that Grace is standing up for her home and her marriage. Because I agree, Ivy cannot stay here. Regardless of if she's trying to get back with you or not, it makes me, I'm uncomfortable. And I refuse to be uncomfortable in my own damn home. She can't stay here.
No.
And so, yeah, Grace says Sam and I are married, and married couples make their decisions together. Now, I thought that Ivy, but it's good that she didn't. She's smart. She's a smart girl. I thought Ivy was once again going to bring up the fact that Grace and David are married, and Ivy and Grace is not actually married to Sam, because she does that a lot. Every time Grace says something about it. But I don't think she's ever done it in front of Sam. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I've seen her say it to Grace in different situations, but I don't know that I've ever said. I have seen her say it to. I've never seen her say it to them together, because I have also seen her say it to Sam. But of course, she puts a different affect on it depending on who she's talking to, right? When she says it to Sam, she says it in more of a sympathetic way. But Sam, Grace isn't your wife. She's married to David. But when she says it to Grace, it's more of a chiding, right? She wants, Sam is not your husband. David is, right?
Oh, that's perfect.
So I think because she typically says it to them separately, I think it would be tougher for her to kind of bring that up right now. So she doesn't. But she does try to play on Sam's sympathy. She begs him, don't let her do this to me. Because Grace tells her, we found a wonderful place for you called Harmony Woods. It's downtown. It's an assisted living facility. Ivy resists this. She says, I wouldn't feel safe. It's in a bad area. The neighborhood. It's like, girl, you were in a mansion. Any neighborhood you go to is going to be a bad neighborhood to you, right? Like, going from where she's going from to anywhere she's going to feel like it's a bad neighborhood. But it was so interesting. All of the objections she raised about the facility. It's like, girl, you don't have any choices. You are homeless. But which begs the question, how was she going to pay for Harmony Woods? Who was going to, like, was it, they call it an assisted living facility, but any American knows nothing is free around these parts.
No.
Okay. And I remember when my granny was in an assisted living facility, it was like very expensive for her to be there because they have to, it's nursing care. Right. And so, maybe that's the other thing. Is she not on like Social Security or something? She has a disability.
I mean, I guess not yet because she does kind of bring it up, though we don't know how true it is because it is coming from Ivy about her money situation later on when Ethan and Gwen and Teresa and Fox arrive.
Yeah, she said that she said basically we've learned that she's broke. She says that she's broke, and I believe that she is broke. She says that all her assets are tied up, and Julian has frozen all of their joint assets, and so she can't access any of the money. I do believe that she is broke.
Yes.
But so that begs the question: how were they going to pay for Harmony Woods? Because later on, she refuses to go to this assisted living facility. She said she calls it a nursing home. She says, I'll shrivel up and die. You can't send me to a place like that. And then I think Grace says, well, a hotel then. And she says, well, I can't afford a hotel. I don't have any money. Well, how is she going to pay for the assisted living facility? That's just a Passion's plot hole.
Well, I mean, I think Grace assumed Ivy would be able to pay for it. And that's why she's telling him she's broke, so she can't have a hotel room. If she was smart, she would have said the words, I can't pay for that either. Or just something to that extent.
Also, actually, I do think, because they said, Grace was like, well, when Sam suggested they move her to the B&B, Grace says that the whole first floor is booked and she can't go up and down the stairs. They could move somebody from the first floor to the second, right?
Yeah.
They could let somebody know we have a patient, not a patient. We have a guest who's going to be staying here. She's in a wheelchair. Would you be willing to move rooms? And I can guarantee you, I don't know how many rooms there are on the first floor, but I'm assuming maybe 3 or 4. Surely one of those 3 or 4 guests would be happy to move, and say, oh, yeah, I have no problem with that. I'll move, so that somebody in a wheelchair can have this room because they need it.
Yes.
Like they didn't even consider that.
Exactly. And Grace also assumed that Ivy came from a wealthy family, which she did, but Ivy tells them her father married her off to a wealthy family so they wouldn't have to worry about her and gave what they had to her sisters.
Yeah, that her siblings have were taken care of. She was taken care of, so she didn't get an inheritance, which makes sense to me. She didn't need it. So yeah, Ivy's fighting tooth and nail to stay at Sam and Grace's home, and we're gonna come back to the Bennett home after we talk about our fated couples. After we talk about Teresa, Ethan, and Gwen. Do you have anything to add before we go on?
Yes, one thing. So Grace leaves Sam and Ivy alone to go get a brochure that she had faxed to her from the nursing home place or whatever it is, the Harmony Woods. And when she's over there, she runs into David, of course, and David will end up following her back. But when she's over there, she literally tells him that she wishes he lived at home, but having him and John in the bed and breakfast next door is the next best thing.
See, I missed that. She says she wishes he lived at her house.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, because they're talking about, he comes down and she kind of catches him up that Ivy's over there, but she's going to move out today. And he tells her that won't be easy. And that's when she tells him that she wishes he lived there. And she said she's glad Kay confessed what she said wasn't true. But if she had been right, it would be easier for Sam to see Ivy for the evil that she really is.
Grace is the worst. God.
She is. That's why, like, I liked what she was saying to Ivy, but I was like, I can't be on her side because she walks over there and it's like, I wish you lived at home. David
lived at my house. Are you kidding? And after you just told Sam, I don't want David, I want you. And we need to get rid of all these people who are trying to come between us. And I don't know how she doesn't see, even if David isn't outwardly saying like, I want to be with you, Grace, and I want to break up your marriage, Grace. Actually, he is outwardly saying I want to be with you. He has said that to her more than once. But even if he is saying to her, you know, I love you, but I know that you want to be with Sam, but I'm going to keep hanging around hoping that maybe one day you'll look at me and that we can be together. Right? Like, you can see the strain that is putting on your marriage. It puts a strain on your marriage to Sam.
Yes. So then he tells her that he'll go back with her for moral support. And she says, I don't know what I'd do without you. And then after she gets out the door and he's like, you'll never have to know Grace. Or however he says it. And then when they go back, they stop before going in to watch Ivy and Sam through the window and just, you know, so Grace can get more irritated.
Right. Because Ivy... Thank you for bringing that up. Ivy, when Grace goes over to the B&B, Ivy begs Sam, don't send me there, don't, you know, and she gets very, very agitated and she starts to get all worked up and then she gets a pain in her back. She's like, oh, my back. And then she gets like, finds her pills appear out of nowhere and then she starts popping pills. And and that's what they see when they walk past the window. They see, and David says that she's putting on a performance of a lifetime. So Ivy tells Sam she's in the... Oh, this was important. I'm glad I didn't skip this. Ivy tells Sam, she basically lays the guilt on him. She's like, I'm in this wheelchair because of you, right? Like, I'm in this wheelchair and I'm in the situation I'm in because I put you and your family above my own safety. Oh.
Yes. She said she risked her life for his daughters.
I risked my life for your daughters and for your children. And because she was trying to help his family. And Sam says, well, you've lied to everyone in your life. Because there's a point where she talks about how there's no one to take her in. And he's like, well, you've lied to everybody. You've lied to everyone in your life. And your presence here is putting a strain on my marriage. So you have to go, right? Like, sorry, girl, but I want my wife. I want my marriage. But yeah, she talks about how much she sacrificed, but then he's like, yeah, but you lied to me about my son. Like, what about the things that you've done to people? Maybe you should change your ways, Ivy. I don't know. But yeah, he definitely is more sympathetic to Ivy than Grace is, of course. Of course. So let's talk about what's going on with Teresa, Ethan, Gwen. Let's talk about what's going on with Teresa, Ethan, and Gwen. Okay, so Ethan calls Gwen, or Gwen calls Ethan. I don't know who they were on. She
called him.
Okay, yeah, they were on the phone. She calls him. He tells her they. Oh, that's right, because she wakes up, he's not there, and she calls him and is like, "I thought the meeting that you were gonna have you were gonna have the meeting at home tonight or today, right?" And which was funny because that whole fucking thing blew up last night with Ivy getting kicked out. The whole reason it blew up is because Teresa had wanted the living room and everything to be cleaned by the servants, and Rebecca and Ivy would not let them do it. And Phyllis reported that to Teresa and reported that they were being really nasty and being very racist about her. And so Teresa went downstairs and kicked Ivy out. And and one of her things was, we have a very important meeting in here tomorrow in the morning. We have a very important meeting in here in the morning. And now they didn't even have it at the damn mansion.
Nope, they had it at Crane Industries because I guess the blizzard had blown over. Everyone could make it. They could go into work. because of course you're having it at the office. Why would you have an important meeting in your home? Why would you do that? Of course you're having it in a conference room at the office. But yeah. Everybody's able to make it in the blizzard. I guess they do live in Massachusetts. They got the roads clear fast, probably. True. So, one snowstorm don't stop shit. So, they're having this meeting. Gwen is talking to Ethan about
the meeting and the baby and whatever. Ethan says that Teresa can barely keep her eyes open after staying up all night with the baby, and he's worried about how this meeting is going, right? So at the same time, Fox tells Teresa that, Ethan's probably still mad at you for throwing his dear old mumsy out into the blizzard last night. And Ethan responds cold. I have a missing note because I hate when that happens. Sometimes
I have, after he told her that Teresa replies that she only feels guilty for putting Ivy in the Bennett house. And then Fox tells her not many women can go against his mother, but Teresa says Grace is smart and she'll toss out the Ice Queen.
I got it. So then Teresa does, because I guess they're on like a little break from this meeting. Teresa does try to talk to him about the meeting, and he tells her, he responds very coldly to her. And he tells her that she needs to stay on her toes and that she needs to wake the fuck up, basically. Wake up and lock in, bitch. And he's like, this is a very important meeting, Teresa. You need to wake up. And so they reconvene the meeting. And during this ridiculous meeting, ridiculous business presentation, it's funny. I watch a lot of K-dramas, as you all know. And I have roped Naya into watching some with me. And we have this running joke that the jobs in these dramas are fake. Like, it's not, I'm like, every time I'm like, this is not a real job. What is it that they do? And I make this joke because they always have just a bunch of papers. Like, it's just a bunch of and so I always say papers. Like, and that's what this meeting was. Papers. Like, this was not a real meeting. This is not a real business. It was so silly and so absurd. And Ethan was just what even is Ethan's fucking job, right? Because they're talking about advertising. What is his job? You're a fucking lawyer. What is your job?
And what does Crane Industries do? They do so many things. They have the cannery, they have fashion, they have, I don't know what, liens on people's houses, construction.
Yes, they're in everything. And so it just, God, it made me laugh because I was just like, God, this is so... It also was kind of hard to sit through. I get why Teresa was falling asleep. It was boring.
I know.
I was bored. I was like, yeah, I'm with you, girl. But yeah, they're doing this meeting. Teresa falls asleep and snores. Like nasty. Snores like nasty. And Ethan covers for her, telling the clients that she was just acting out how boring their previous campaigns were. Again, what are we doing with advertising for a client? What is y'all's job? What is your job? I'm sorry. That made me laugh so hard. I was watching, I was so confused as to why we had like a whole group of people coming in for like this presentation. And then the presentation is something about advertising and commercials.
Yes, given by a lawyer.
By a lawyer. And like Ethan's whole thing, the whole thing that Teresa had been saying about Ethan, like bringing him back into the company, she's just like, there's just so many contracts to go over and there's so many details and like, we really need your legal mind. And he don't have a marketing degree. Why is he leading this? He barely has a law degree. So, anyway, I'm harping on something that's not important. It was just funny to me. It was a funny passionism for me. But it's not even just a passionism because that happens in a lot of shows where...
I was going to say, it spans across soap operas.
Yeah, because the work is not what is important, right? Like, their jobs are not important.
I cannot name the number of times I've been watching Days of Our Lives recently, been like, what the hell do Titan and Tamara do? Every single day it's something different. And I'm just waiting for them to get a contract with Crane Industries.
The only one who I know is Beauty by Black Beauty, isn't it? Beauty. John, they had like a beauty.
Basic Black.
Basic Black. They had like a cosmetics line, right?
And fashion, kind of, but now it's under Titan. Yeah, it's under Titan now.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Aw. Interesting. I haven't watched in so long, but yeah, I remember I was like, yeah, that's the only of the three. That's the only one that I knew what they actually did.
Mm-hmm. Like when they do fashion, it's about basic black. Everything else is Demira and Titan.
Demira and Titan. And yeah, Titan is like, what? Particularly Titan. Because Demira is like, Demira is more like Vanguard or BlackRock, where it's like just this like it's just like this evil entity that are just doing like weird experiments on humans and shit.
Yes.
But Titan, I was like, yeah, I always wonder like, what do they do? What is Victor's whole thing? Although Victor's gone too now, isn't he? He passed away. Victor Kiriakis, may he rest in peace.
And so is John.
Yeah, and so is John and Stefano.
And Stefano, yeah,
a long time, but
they're all gone. We don't know what their companies are doing now, but we never did.
Who's even in charge? Xander and is Xander still on there?
Yes, at Titan, it's Xander, and in Demera, it is. Oh God, I can't remember who the CEO is because it changes so much. He's out right now.
Oh. Is Tony still around?
Oh, yeah. It's like Tony and Theo's running it.
Theo? Oh,
yes.
Man. Oh, they need to bring Lexi back. I loved Lexi.
Did you see Friday's episode?
No, I didn't. Is she coming back?
There is a Lexi reveal, but it's not the same actress.
That's okay, though. Lexi and Celeste, I used to love them. Sorry. Okay, back to passions.
Yes.
back to Crane, where they don't do anything. So, anyway, after the meeting, this apparently it went fine. Like the Ethan covered for Teresa, it was fine. Ethan takes Teresa to task for being, not on her game and for being sleepy and, falling asleep in the meeting. And he says, he tells Teresa she should consider resigning from Crane Industries. And he says, has it ever occurred to you that maybe you can't have it both ways? He says, I very much admire the fact that you want to be a full-time mother to little Ethan, but I think you should consider resigning your job here at Crane. You are Julian's wife, for Pete's sake. You don't need to work. Well, look at where that got your damn mama.
Exactly.
Look at where the fuck being Julian's wife got your damn mama. She does need to work. And Teresa says, no, I don't need to work, not for money, but I need to succeed at this for myself. I want to prove that I can be anything that I want to if I just put my mind to it. And yes, today wasn't my best day, but there's no way that's going to scare me off from doing something I know I can excel at. I appreciated Teresa's response to him here, saying no, I don't need the money, but I want to succeed at something. She's a young girl, right? She's a young woman with so much to give and so much that she could do so much, and she wants to do good. And I think yes, she took this position and wanted to do this particularly so she could be close to Ethan. Like that, of course, is
absolutely
number one goal in all of this. However, she has been pretty ambitious from the beginning of the show, right? She's been constantly she didn't start out saying I want to marry Ethan and just be a wife and a mother. While that's something she wanted, she also was talking about she wanted to be a fashion designer, right?
Exactly.
She wanted more out of her life. And yeah, I can appreciate that this opportunity, she's not going to squabble this opportunity. Now, I know that the word is squander. However, if anybody watches Drag Race, that's something that Briar Blush said on one of the episodes. I'm not going to squabble this opportunity. And it's been a running gag on the whole season. And I've been saying it a lot. Don't squabble this opportunity. But yeah, that's what Teresa's not going to squabble her opportunity here. And I can appreciate it. So she refuses to quit. She says she wants to show the world what a Lopez Fitzgerald can do, saying, with a little luck and a lot of determination, I can have everything I've ever dreamed of. And I have this clip because I liked her little speech. And I also, at a certain point, I was like, I need to pull some clips. I was struggling this week pulling clips. I really was, because I was like, none of this is really important. Oh, it's a lot of recap.
Oh God, the Shui stuff. I can't.
The Shui stuff. I'm sorry. It's gonna be 10 minutes. I refuse. I honestly, at a certain point, I just stopped taking notes. They are irritating the fuck out of me. So Teresa says, I can do both.
Both. I can be a wonderful mother to my son.
I know it's soft.
And the best executive that Crane has ever seen.
And you don't think that that's burning the candle at both ends?
What if it is? Ethan, I'm young. I'm smart. I've got heaps of energy, and I can do anything I want to if I just put my mind to it. And I'm not doing this to prove something to myself either. No one in my family has ever had a chance like this. My mother, she has always worked as a housekeeper. And Luis, he's a cop. And Miguel, I don't think he's going to be able to graduate college, what with Kay Bennett carrying his child. So I want to prove to everyone in Harmony, no, the world, what a Lopez Fitzgerald can do if given the opportunity.
Teresa, I'm sure they're proud of you already.
Ethan, I haven't even started yet. I want to show everyone that I can have it all. That with a little luck and a lot of determination, I can have everything that I ever dreamed of.
I know that's right, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But a little luck and a lot of determination. And she got that. She got determination in droves. And honestly, she's got more than a little luck. Luck has definitely been on her side a lot. Like a lot. But yeah, I can appreciate Teresa's determination and her passion and her drive for this. And I like her standing up to Ethan in this moment. He was being kind of shitty to her.
He was.
I don't know. I feel like
Ethan's kind of like that anyway. In general, I feel like
it's like the vast majority of women who work, who have children, are full-time mothers and have a full-time job, right? Like that's it's not unusual to take care of your kids and work a full work week. And so but Ethan is a dunderhead. And so because his whole thing, right, with Gwen was like, oh, I don't want to use your trust fund. And so he's got a thing about women. He's a misogynist, for sure.
A little bit, which I mean, we know the writers of Passions were.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that the male characters take on that attitude, whether the actors realized it or not.
Yeah, I don't like that he's like, you're a mom, so you can't work.
You
can't do both.
Exactly.
Yeah, most women do. My mother did. Like Teresa's mother did. Like, whatever. Ethan is so annoying. And so after this, Teresa goes on to say that her new job is just the beginning, just the start of her rise. She says, I mean to have a successful life, and that means having everything that I want in business and in love. And Ethan looks at her and says, Teresa, listen to me. I am not part of your get everything you love plan, okay? We're finished. Remember, I am married to Gwen, and I do not have, and we do not have a future together. And then he starts yelling at her about throwing Ivy out of the house during the blizzard. Calls her heartless. And he says, you threw a woman in a wheelchair out into a raging blizzard. What else would you call that but heartless? And Teresa, once again, and we've had this conversation like this. They've had this conversation. Like I said, this whole week was a lot of recap. They've had this conversation multiple times since last night. And last night happened for weeks, weeks upon weeks. Thank God we did roll this day over finally, because that went on forever. So yeah, they've been having the same conversation. Teresa says that he doesn't really know the real Ivy. And she says she's not the sweet, wonderful person you think she is. She's capable of doing horrible things. And she says, I know that you love your mother, so naturally you don't want to see her faults, but you have to know that Ivy is in love with your father, and she has been scheming to take Sam away from Grace for a long, long time. Ethan doesn't believe it, right? He doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to buy it. He tells her to drop it. He says, you're not going to convince me that my mother is some kind of monster that deserved to be tossed out into the snow. She is strong-willed like you, but she would never go after a married man. My mother respects family. She is a wonderful person and a loving mother. Honey, Fox said, I must speak. And I loved it, the way he couldn't stand listening to Ethan talk about Ivy like that for one more second. He said, oh, Ethan, I gotta step in here. I have to interrupt. And he says, you're dead wrong about our mother. You don't even really know who she is at all. Mm-hmm. And then he goes on his nice little poor little rich boy, which Ethan calls it that, his poor little rich boy, like, tirade. So I actually have that clip too. I called it mommy issues because they both have mommy issues. Ethan and Fox.
What are you talking about, Fox? I'm talking about our lovely and gracious mother. Teresa's right about her.
Listen to your brother.
Half-brother.
Fox knows Ivy better than you do, Ethan. He knows the real Ivy.
I wouldn't listen to a word that he said about her. Yeah, I can understand why you might be reluctant to listen to me, but I can offer a totally different view on our mother. I'm sure you think of her as a loving mother. Yeah, I do. Yeah, well, she wasn't very loving to me or my sisters, your half-sisters. She treated us like we had the plague. That's not how I remember. Well, I'm sure you don't remember. You were too busy being the fair-haired boy, mother's favorite. You didn't know you were the favorite, didn't you, Ethan? No, not really. I knew that I felt loved. Yeah, she loved you all right. I mean, do you have any idea, though, why you might have been chosen to be the most beloved? Why do you suppose that was there, Ethan? Because I was her firstborn. You were also Sam Bennett's son. See, the rest of us, we were the progeny of Julian Crane, so since she didn't love Julian, why would she love us, his children? All right, why are we rehashing this? This is old news, Fox. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you my take on Mother.
You need to hear this, Ethan.
All right. Fine. All right, tell me how abused that you were growing up in one of the wealthiest families in the world and all the privileges that went with it. Poor little rich boy, is that what this is about? You really don't remember, do you? Remember what? Remember us as children. Hey, well, actually, there's nothing for you to remember because we were never there. We were always off at some boarding school until we got shipped away to college or took the grand tour of Europe.
Were they ever home for the holidays, Ethan? Or summer vacations?
Actually, I don't remember. You don't remember? Would you remember how Mumsy used to tuck you in at night? Yes, of course. Well, she never tucked me or my sisters in at night. Never. Never. How could she tuck us in, Ethan? She never came to see us, and we weren't allowed to come home. But you lived at home before boarding school. Before boarding school, I remember being brought downstairs by the nanny to get a goodnight kiss. And if my mother was home, you know, and she wasn't too busy with you, she'd give me a distracted peck on the head. I'm sorry, Fox. It must have been sad for you. Yeah, I don't want your pity, Ethan. Okay, I survived. All I'm saying is that if a woman could love one son so passionately and ignore the rest of her children so callously, who knows what else she's capable of doing?
So I have a second clip of Fox. I just found him so compelling. Mm-hmm. I found him so compelling. He's such a great character witness. Right? Like, and I love that he pointed out to Ethan, is like, hey, do you remember us being there? No, you don't. Because we weren't.
Ethan doesn't remember anything, but. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, man. I will say this morning when I was watching this, it made me tear up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like his this particular portion of his speech made me tear up. And it's interesting because parents do treat their kids differently, you
Yeah.
know, not obviously not on this same kind of like dramatic scale, but because this is diabolical. But, you know, I've had this conversation with like my friends. I've had this realization myself fairly recently, kind of, that my brother and my sister used to tell me things about my mom and I didn't believe them because that was not my experience. I'd be like, no, that doesn't sound right. Like, and she's my mother. So of course I believe my experience with her. And then after they passed away, my mom started having certain conversations with me, the types of conversations she had never had with me before. And it sparked a memory in me. I was like, man, this is exactly what my sister used to complain about, or this is exactly what my brother would complain about. But it was because she didn't have them to have those conversations with anymore. She was having different conversations with each of us. She used each of us for different parts of like her personality, I feel like, or different ways to kind of like, when she wanted to talk, she knew she could talk to my brother about certain things. She would talk to my sister about certain things. She would talk to me about certain things, but she wouldn't talk to all three about us about all the same things.
All the same
right?
things.
And so after they had passed away, she started talking to me about all these other things and having these conversations. And I was like, wait, what the hell? This is not the relationship we have. And I actually had to like apologize to my brother and sister, like, you know, the way I talk to them, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had to apologize to them. I was like, I did not believe y'all about mama, but you were right. I didn't believe you. And so that's what Ethan is having, that same realization, I think, right now. Like, man, yeah, my experience with mother is one way, but I never even considered the fact that, like, because he's never had this conversation with Fox. And I would be interested, I would love to see Fox have this conversation with Ivy.
Yes.
I don't know if that ever happens. I don't
think it does, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember. I hope it does, though. It is so needed. It is so needed. I want him to have the same conversation with Ivy and just like tell her, you know, we all saw how you preferred Ethan to us, and it affected us very badly and very negatively. And if I did act out, it was because you weren't giving me enough attention. And I wasn't ever good enough. I wasn't living up to Ethan in your eyes. And I didn't know then that I couldn't, but like now I know I never could have lived up to Ethan because you loved him because he was Sam's son, and you didn't love us because we were Julian's kids. Yeah. So I have a second clip. Let's go on. Fox goes on. This was the best thing of the week for me, I think, besides the charity and Grace vision. I think this conversation with Fox was probably my favorite thing of the week.
Ethan, how lavish they were.
Oh wait, let me go back. I think maybe this got cut off, but he asked Ethan, "Do you remember your birthday parties? You remember how lavish they were?" So,
Ethan, how lavish they were.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. What do you remember about my birthday parties or our sisters? I can't remember. It's because there weren't any parties. Mother would always send some kind of expensive gift off to boarding school with maybe a card, you know, but never a phone call to say happy birthday. But your birthdays were treated like national holidays. I thought that you preferred to stay at boarding school. I don't know why. No, you were right. You were right. Who wants to be where they're not wanted? I suppose if we would have really begged, Mother would have let us come home. We weren't going to beg. We knew we weren't welcome there.
Don't you see, Ethan? I can't imagine any mother being so cruel to her own children. Now do you see the kind of person that Ivy really is?
Wait a minute. This is just one of your many scams, isn't it, Fox? What angle you working this time, huh? What'd you expect to get out of this sad tale, huh? Money? Or are you just trying to ingratiate yourself with Teresa even more? Look, man, I'm just telling it like it is. Yeah, well, I don't have time to listen to it anymore, okay? I gotta go talk to the clients.
Well, I'm gonna come with you.
No, Teresa, I told you, let me handle it for the sake of the deal. I think you're wrong about Ethan, Teresa. He's not gonna easily forget what you did to dear old Mom.
No. Fox, you're wrong. He will finally realize that I am the only woman that he really loves, and he will come back to me, and he'll forget all about feeling sorry for Ivy.
Maybe so. That's not the impression I got from your conversation earlier.
You weren't reading between the lines.
Teresa.
Ethan, you changed your mind. You want me to come to the meeting with you?
No. I got some news. News you need to hear right away.
And the news is that Antonio is still brain dead. So I don't know. They make such a big deal about it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all knew that it was a slim chance that he was. There were 3 possibilities that he either would be completely cured,
Mm-hmm.
would die, or he would be in a coma for the rest of his life. That you knew that those were the options, and you knew that the most likely option was that he would be in a coma or he would die, right? Like the cure was like tiny little chance. So we're not quite there yet, but it's crazy to me that this week they make a huge deal out of Antonio being in a coma. He's been in a coma.
Yeah.
Like they're like, but the drug, we thought the drug would work. Who gave you the impression that it would fucking work? Nobody.
Pilar.
Yeah, Pilar. Nobody. No medical professional told you this was going to work. All the medical professionals were telling you this is a very long shot. In fact, Antonio himself told y'all not to give him the damn shot. So, anyway, they make a very big deal about the fact that Antonio's still in a coma, and they make such a big deal about the fact that Antonio's status has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
They act like he's died. It's crazy. They act like he has died. Gwen brings food to the hospital for like Pilar and her family, which was lovely, which was a sweet gesture. But like that's something you do when somebody dies, right? Like, okay, it's not something you do when somebody dies, but it's not like it's not like anything had changed, right? He's been in the hospital. Nothing changed. God, this week.
I know, and most of the cast ends up there, minus the Bennetts.
Yeah, they've got their own emergency at home. They've got their own invalid. And I can say that because Ivy calls herself an invalid in these weeks, and it might have been in one of the clips. She calls herself an invalid. So yes, he breaks the news to Teresa that Antonio's condition has not changed, but is probably not going to get better, right? Antonio's is incapacitated, and the doctors don't think he's ever going to get well, ever. Yeah, well, that's exactly what the fuck they've been saying. That's what they've been saying, and they don't know anything about this drug. The doctor, when we get there, the first doctor that they talk to, who's not Eve,
I was shocked it wasn't Eve.
Yeah, well, he was like, well, this is an experimental drug, so there's really no way to tell how it's going to affect him. There's no way. They don't even know. They're like, yeah, we just poured some piss in an IV and put it in his veins. But anyway, yeah, Teresa's devastated by this news. And she's more devastated because she realizes that she's like, oh no, Luis and Sheridan will never be together again, because she has connected. If Luis and Sheridan can be together, then she and Ethan can be together, right? She's connected those two things, that their love stories are connected, and it's fate for Sheridan and Luis, and it is also fate for Ethan and Teresa. So this is a devastating blow to our girl. And so Ethan then comforts her, offers to drive her to the hospital, and they go to the hospital. Everybody goes to the hospital. At the hospital, Gwen shows up with food for Pilar. She's like, I heard. Also, why did Ethan get the news? How did he even get that news? Later on, Pilar says something about Miguel is calling everyone to tell them about Antonio's position or condition. But which, number one, why are you calling the whole damn town to tell them nothing has changed with Antonio? And two, why did Ethan get the call? Why does Ethan have the news?
I'm guessing because somehow they called Crane Industries and was probably told Teresa was in a meeting, but Ethan got the call or intercepted it somehow, or maybe he answered the phone.
Yeah, maybe they called Crane and was told Teresa was in the meeting, and then he went out to talk to somebody, and they were like, "Oh, we have messages. By the way, Teresa's brother is not well or whatever," and he was like, "Oh no, that's horrible news. Let me go deliver it to her." Okay.
Yes. Or they're also connected. They probably have each other's cell phone numbers now, like all soap characters do, even if they shouldn't.
Yeah, but the thing is, why would they call Ethan and not Teresa?
To tell her? I guess I don't know.
For him to tell her the news will be. That sound like a Miguel. That sound like some Miguel bullshit. The news will be better coming from you, Ethan. You should tell her. So yes, they all go to the hospital, and Ethan and Gwen are there for a little bit, comforting the family. But then Gwen says, "Well, it's almost time for my sonogram appointment. Do you want to join me?" And Ethan is delighted. He's like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious? Yes, let's go." So they go to have their sonogram appointment and see their baby. And they come back later with the pictures that you get. And they're showing them to Pilar. I don't know. I just didn't feel appropriate, but they're showing them to Pilar. It just didn't feel appropriate to me, considering Pilar's going through this horrible thing with her son. And it would be one thing if Gwen and Ethan weren't so tangled up with Teresa, with Pilar's other child, and has caused her other child to their happiness is causing her other child to have a hard time and be sad. And so if Teresa didn't have anything to do with them, then I could see them trying to cheer her up by showing her this pictures of these babies of her baby. But no, this is not appropriate.
No, they came down. They were so giddy and happy, and in my mind, I was like, guys, this is not the time. Congrats, but
yeah. Congrats, but not now. Yeah, exactly. And so, of course, Teresa's watching. She's sad to see them together. She tells Fox, "That should be me with Ethan having his baby." And she says that, their happiness, they're happy for now, but it's not going to last. Oh my gosh. And then Fox, who has been continuously telling Teresa, "I don't know, Teresa. I don't know. I don't see Ethan ever getting over the fact that you threw his mother out into the blizzard. I don't see it ever happening." He tells her, it's not, you got to let go of Ethan. This is not going to happen, right? And she says, "Mama always told me you'll catch more flies with sugar than honey, or no, honey than vinegar or some shit."
Yes.
I know the phrase. I just, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. I remember, who was it? Somebody was like, "Why would I want to catch flies?" I was like, yeah, why would I want to catch flies? But, you do want to catch flies when they're flying around your house and stuff like that. But anyway, so she says she's just going to have to pour a lot more sweetness, turn on the sweetness, and get Ethan back. And so she has devised an idea to make Ethan see his mother's true colors, right? And so she goes over to Ethan and Gwen and tells them both, "I feel very badly about what happened with your mother last night, and I think you both should come over to the Bennett house with me, right? Because there's something I need to say to your mother. There's something I need to." And Ethan's like, "Teresa, if you're gonna hurt my mother again, so help me God." And Teresa's like, "No. It's not that. But I think you should come, and it'll illuminate some things, basically."
She says she has a solution for everything.
There it is. She has a solution for everything. And so they say, "Okay, we'll meet you at the Bennett home." And so Teresa goes over to the Bennett home. But before she says she's going to solve this whole problem. And she's like, "No, Ivy's going to go down in flames when this is it. Ivy's not going to survive this kind of thing, right? Well, not survive, but she's not going to come out looking good, right?
Yeah, when Ethan warns her not to hurt his mother again, she tells him she won't, and then, her little in her mind thing, she's like, Ivy will do that to herself.
Yeah, there it is. She also at one point says like, damn you, Gwen, for not using protection. Like, Ethan didn't use protection. It's his fault.
Exactly.
It's his fault.
I had that note too, and it's like, it's really him. It's on him too.
Yeah. So, they go over to the Crane Mansion. I mean, not the Crane Mansion. They go over to the Bennett house. And Teresa apologizes to Ivy and tells her, you can move back into the mansion immediately. So this is her move, right? Like telling Ivy, you know what, you can move back into the mansion, because I imagine what Teresa is trying to show her Ethan is that Ivy is going to choose to stay at the Bennett home because she wants to be near Sam. Right?
Exactly.
And it'll prove basically what Teresa's been saying, which is that Ivy has it out for Sam and Grace's marriage, and is trying to break them up at any cost. And being in the house at Sam's house is actually a gift to her. So yeah, throughout this week too, it should be mentioned that Rebecca keeps talking about how she's got an informant, and Teresa's not going to be in the house for long. So they're still slowly leading us up to that situation, whatever's going to happen there. Yeah, you got anything to add? That's it for me.
Yeah, and I think that's it for me too.
Cool.
I don't remember how that plays out, that cliffhanger, because that was what was our Friday cliffhanger, was that Teresa made that offer. And I don't know if I went back to school, but I can't remember how that plays out. Because I remember the show. I know what happens, but that particularly I don't remember.
I don't remember either. And I can only wildly speculate. What I imagine could possibly happen is that Ivy rejects her apology and says she doesn't feel safe at the mansion, and tells her, like, you could throw me out on a whim again, right?
Exactly.
And, which I think is reasonable for her to be like, I'm not going back to that house for you to humiliate me all over again. No, thank you. Right. So that's how if I was Ivy, that's how I would handle it. And it's a reasonable thing to say. But I don't know. Like you said, I do not remember how this all played out. So, y'all, let's talk about Shawise. I'm going to speed. I promise you I'm about to speed run this. I have 2 clips, I think, for this. But, yeah, this is not going to take long. That doctor, he's supposed to be a specialist, this doctor, Dr. Wirtz. I don't know how to say it.
I didn't even get his name. I was just like, it's not Eve. How is there another one?
There's another doctor. She's not every doctor, as it turns out. We've got Dr. Wirtz or Wirtz. I don't know how you say it. And he tells Sheridan, Luis, and Pilar and Beth that Antonio has slight brain activity, but he's still in critical condition after receiving that experimental drug. He says the longer Antonio remains unconscious, the lower the chance the experimental drug will help him survive. And then he leaves. Antonio's eyes pop open. This was crazy. Y'all, I feel bad for the actor, because it's one thing to lay in a scene and have your eyes closed. It's a whole other thing to lay in a scene and have to have your eyes open the entire time, and have eyes open the entire time, and you can't react. You have to just lay there. You can't blink, right? I mean, I guess he could blink.
Well, I guess he could blink because his eyes were open, because the big thing is no one really knew if he was actually awake.
Yeah. They get so excited. He wakes up. They think Antonio is awake. And they get all excited, and Pilar is very hopeful. So I actually have this clip. It's called Antonio is Awake. Antonio's awake. And I'm sorry, this made me laugh so hard. I'm so awful.
No, there's other things that made me laugh this week. I should not have laughed at.
Yeah, I should not have laughed at this, but it did make me laugh. I had to clip it because he's just laying there, eyes wide open. Here we go.
Hey, Antonio just opened his eyes. That's great. It looks like the drug's working.
Unbelievable. Antonio, I am right here. I am right here with you. Antonio, it's me. It's Sheridan. Antonio.
I'll get Dr. Works.
Something's wrong. His eyes are open, but he's not awake. He's not responding. Antonio.
Antonio. Yeah, hilarious. I'm sorry. That was so funny to me.
This is how I wrote that note. I wrote, Sheridan realizes that just because Antonio's eyes are open doesn't mean anyone is home. How is this different from any other day?
Same old, same old. Same old, same old. He is eyes wide open. Nothing going on upstairs. So, yeah, even though his eyes are open, Antonio's not responding to any stimuli, according to Dr. Wirtz and Eve, because Eve shows back up. And she does like some tests, and she tells the family, she tells them that the experimental drug caused Antonio to lapse into a vegetative state. This news upsets everybody. This is when everything just like everybody starts like, oh no, oh my God. This is when they start calling people to tell them about Antonio's like condition. And that is the reveal, right? Like, oh, Antonio's dying. He's been dying.
Since we met him, it feels like, but maybe not since the very beginning, but it feels like it.
Oh my God, he's been dying. And listen, I don't want to make light of it. It is a very sad situation. It is a very sad situation. I just get frustrated because we've been doing this for so long. We've been dealing with his illness for so long. Y'all knew this is where this was headed. So anyway, Sheridan, like I said, I'm gonna speed through this. I'm not spending a bunch of time on this. It's ridiculous. Everybody's upset except for Beth, who says to herself, Sheridan is stuck being married to a vegetable, leaving Louise free to be with me. And she had a couple of lines this week that were funny. Let's see if I can find the other one. She says something about him having like the brain of a turnip.
Yeah.
I can't find it. You have it?
So Beth says, actually, I just have, Beth says, as long as Antonio has the brain cells of a turnip, Luis will be hers.
Yeah. She had a few little lines like that this week. So anyway, Sheridan has decided she's going to stay by Antonio's side until death do us part. And
even though she doesn't want to.
it's stupid. It's a non-issue. It's actually a non-issue. Everybody's just kind of standing around looking real sad at Antonio. Miguel says, I can't believe this is it. It would have been better if he just died. I loved that line. He says something similar later, which was, God, I was like, I agree, Miguel. Pilar is upset when he says this. Don't say that. Don't ever say that. And Miguel says, he can't move, Mama. He can't talk. He can't even think. And Pilar says that they just need to pray for a miracle, that medicine will advance and eventually Antonio will be cured. They're finding cures every day. She goes on to say, in the meantime, he won't be alone. He'll have his wife to sit by him day and night. Right, Sheridan? Bitch! Oh my God. Pilar, sorry, Eric. I'm sorry, Eric. She's pissing me off. She's pissed. Don't piss me off, Pilar. She is pissing me off because I hated that line. In the meantime, he won't be alone. He'll have his wife to sit by him day and night. And then to turn to Sheridan, right, Sheridan? You are the one that said that if I gave him the drug, that you would sit by him, that you would be here. Like said, like, oh my God.
I'm right there with you. I felt the same way. And I was like, that's really mean of Pilar who never lies, which I'm never letting that go either.
It's nasty. It was nasty work. I didn't like it. I was disgusted by it. I'm so disgusted by this whole situation. Sheridan is like, yes, of course, right? And she actually feels guilty about giving him the treatment now. But she shouldn't feel guilty about that because she was pressured into it because Pilar was saying, if you don't give my son the drug, then I will disown you and my son, and I'll never talk to either one of you again. And you're both murderers. And I'll think of my son as Cain, who killed his own brother Abel, and you're both evil devils who just want to be together. You're letting lust take over, and I know that you love my son, but my other son is dying. Like, Sheridan did not make that. Sheridan made that decision under duress. And yet now she feels guilty about having made that decision, even though it was not at all what Antonio wanted. He flat out said, let me die, Sheridan. Let me go, Sheridan. Don't give me the drugs, Sheridan. He said that in a video. Pilar pressed the fucking issue so goddamn hard, and now here we are. And now Sheridan is all upset and feeling guilty. She shouldn't feel guilty about anything. She does not deserve to feel guilty about particularly any of this. And so, anyway, Sheridan promises to stay by Antonio's side as long as he needs her, even if it means staying together forever. And then she and Luis go off and talk. Pilar and Miguel are left by Antonio's side, and they're just talking about like all of the loss of Antonio's future, right? And says like he'll never hold his child or see a sunrise. And Miguel at one point tells Pilar Luis will never truly move on or marry Beth because he will always love Sheridan too much. And Pilar tells him as much as Luis loves Sheridan, he must get on with his life as if he never met her. He needs to love and be loved in return by a woman who wants to share her hopes and dreams with him, a woman with whom he can start a family. Again, I will say, bitch, you didn't move on. You didn't move on from Martin. Luis has been begging you for years to get a move on with your fucking life. You didn't move on. Why should Luis? And it's like, just because you were married to him doesn't make your love more valid than Luis's love for Sheridan and Luis and Sheridan's love for each other. She pissed me off so fucking bad this week.
Yeah.
I'm so, again, Eric, I'm so sorry, honey. Say a prayer for me at church. Like, I'm sorry. But oh my God, Pilar, I'm about ready to give her the "this guy stinks" button. I really am. Because that really got under my skin. That she's making, well, he needs to just find a woman. You didn't just find another man. You could have just found another man.
She's still holding on.
You still lighting that damn candle for him. And the only difference for her is the distinction that she was married to her husband, right? Like they were married. And so because Sheridan is married to Antonio, she now has to, which she was pressured into marrying him in the first goddamn place too. Right?
Yes.
The only reason this whole Antonio thing went on as long as it did, yes, I have given Sheridan shit about it in the past. However, Pilar did not help that situation at all. And Pilar she laid the guilt on heavy throughout. You are going to kill my son. You are going to kill my son. Oh my God. If it be God's will. If it be God's will, Pilar. So I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated. I know I'm yelling.
No, it's okay. I love it. It's that frustrating.
Oh, Lord. So, yes, they're upset about Antonio, and Pilar's talking about Luis needs to he just needs to find another woman, move on with his life. Somebody who he can share his hopes and dreams with. He wants to share his hopes and dreams with Sheridan.
Exactly. But every time they said that, cut to Beth.
Cut to Beth.
Like, we get it.
Beth was lurking this week. I mean, around every corner. We could see her in the background of the last clips that we just watched. She's just like in the background lurking. And making hilarious remarks.
She goes back and forth. Like, she even eavesdrops on Pilar and Miguel, and then she runs back to Sheridan and Luis, and then she runs back to Pilar and Miguel.
Yeah.
One time she sneaks in Antonio's room.
Yeah, yep. I liked Beth kind of sneaking around this week.
I did too.
So later on, Pilar also like continues to kind of like express her heartbreak over Antonio's condition, and she laments that she goes like, I was so hopeful that this experimental drug would work. Miguel says to her, I know it's horrible. This is horrible. I think that Antonio would rather be dead than living like this. That might be the episode title. Hilarious. It's like, I know, Mama. I think Antonio would rather be dead than living like this. And that's got to make Pilar she should feel guilty about this. She goes, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong to force Sheridan to give permission to give Antonio this drug. Antonio is her husband, and now she could be spending the rest of her life taking care of an invalid. Yes, girl. Yes. I don't like the fact that she's saying maybe I was wrong. No, you were wrong.
You were wrong.
Dead
Yes.
wrong. You were dead wrong, Pilar, and you need to go confession. You need to go to confession. Bad, Pilar, very bad. So, Beth, at one point, like I said, she's lurking, like you said, listening to every conversation, going back and forth. She's like celebrating this situation. She's having a celebration of one, and yeah, she says what we said earlier. As long as Antonio has got the brain cells of a turnip, Sheridan will never get back with Luis, which makes him all mine. I just love that. As long as he has the brain cells of a turnip.
She also at one point calls Antonio Sheridan's veggie man.
See, I didn't catch that one. That's one I didn't get. So Sheridan and Luis, let's talk about what the conversation they're having.
All week long.
The entire week, and it's exhausting, it's lame, and it's stupid because Sheridan should just have this marriage annulled. Sometimes you have to do hard things. Sometimes, yes, would it be hard for her to get this marriage annulled, like emotionally? Will she feel guilty about it? Sure. But in the long run, it's what's best for everyone, right? Because then Pilar can become his next of kin again. She can be in charge of his care. I mean, she can be in charge of his care.
Yeah.
Sheridan and Luis can get married. Everybody's happy. Sheridan has been married to Antonio for less than 24 hours. Get this marriage annulled. It is such a non-issue, and I think that's why I'm so frustrated. Like, because at this point, it's not going to kill him if you get your marriage annulled. It's not going to kill him. He's already on his deathbed. He's not awake. He can't hear you, can't see you, doesn't know what's going on around him. Just do it. And then when he wakes up, if he wakes up, explain it to him. And it's reasonable. It's a reasonable thing to do. But here's the thing. He will probably wake up and then they would still continue lying to him.
They would. That's exactly what they would do.
Yeah, they would still continue lying to him because it was, for some reason, it would be like, well, he can't handle it. He's too weak. He can't handle it. He's just a little baby.
Yes. We got to remember, in passions, they can die of a broken heart.
Yeah. So Luis and Sheridan having this conversation. Luis is trying to comfort Sheridan. Sheridan is telling him basically, I'm not. The long and short of this conversation is Sheridan is trying to get rid of Luis, trying to tell him, listen, I have made a commitment to your brother and I'm not going to back out on it. I'm going to be his wife. And as long as I'm his wife, I cannot be with you. So we need to end this. You need to move on with your life. I'm giving you your freedom. Please go be free and fall in love with someone else, have a family, have a marriage with somebody else. She is saying these things to him over and over and over and over and over again. And over again, Luis is saying, no.
So we can be friends. I'll support you as his brother. Like,
over and over again, he's saying, I do not accept. No, I don't accept this. That is the conversation they have always. Yeah. Beth is listening in. At one point, Sheridan is begging Luis to find joy with someone else who loves him, and Beth thinks to herself, yes, me. I can make you happy, Luis. I liked a lot of Beth's little crazy little lines this week. Like I said, back and forth. She feels guilty. She feels like it's all her fault that he's even in that in the bed in the first place, that he even got sick in the first place. Luis is constantly trying to reassure her that it's not her fault. She shouldn't feel guilty. And again, back and forth with, you should be happy. No, I want to be happy with you. No, you should leave. No, I'll never leave you. I want to stay with you, and being with you as a friend would be better than marrying some other woman. Like, I want to be there for you. That's basically what Luis says at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, I would rather be by your side as a friend. Than he says, just being your friend is better than being with any other woman. It's a beautiful thing to say. It's a beautiful thing to say, but I also understand where Sheridan's coming from, where she's like, but won't you resent me at some point? Won't you start to feel some sort of resentment? And I think he would. I do think, in fact, he would start to feel a certain level of resentment towards Sheridan, and more so towards Antonio for being dead.
I think he already does.
Or not being dead. Yeah. At one point, so they have this conversation back and forth all day, all week. At one point, Luis, I guess, goes to check on Antonio or check on his mama or check on something. And so he leaves Sheridan alone. Beth then takes this opportunity. She's like, it seems I need to have another little conversation with Sheridan. And she manipulates Sheridan she tells Sheridan, you have to cut the cord with Luis. I overheard your conversation, and she says something to the effect of you're making this seem like a romance novel, but you really need to be much nastier to him about this. And you need to, she says, you've got to leave him gut punched, angry, hurt, wondering why he ever put up with you in the first place. So she advises her to be awful to Luis, basically, to force him to give up on her. Sheridan takes this advice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what Luis says to Antonio. He goes and has a conversation. Well, not a conversation. He talks at Antonio's body. And basically, it's a long thing. The sound cut out at one point.
I have to say, the sound cut out for me too, but then when it came back and how it finished, I was like, I don't think I missed that much.
No, you know what? The sound cut out on YouTube, but I had to go to my stash. And the sound was in the one in my stash, so that's the one we'll use. But
I chuckled at the end of that one too, and I'm like, I know I shouldn't, but that's kind of funny.
Yeah, and it's not a clip of him talking to Antonio.
Oh, okay.
It's a different clip, but it is a clip that I'm going to play in a little bit. So anyway, sorry. Yes, he goes and talks at Antonio's body, and basically what he tells his brother is either wake up or fucking die. Oh my God. I mean, of course he said it with anguish, and of course it was very emotional for him. He also does tell his brother, me and Sheridan have been in love much longer than before she met you. He tells him everything basically about the relationship.
He gets the cliff notes of their relationship.
Exactly. Like I said, this week was a lot of recap, tons of recap. And he did that for 10 minutes, recapping their whole relationship. And then he's like, so either fucking die or wake the fuck up so we can tell you the truth. But you can't keep doing this. I'm like, please don't do this to us. And that is the long and short of that.
Yeah.
So Beth has gotten into Sheridan's head. Luis comes back to Sheridan, and she follows Beth's advice and tells Luis to stay away from her and Antonio, because he tells her, he's like, yeah, I just talked to Antonio and I told him everything. I told him everything about us, and I also said that if he's not gonna wake up, he needs to fucking die. And she gets upset. She's like, you told him what? I was like, girl, he couldn't hear him. It doesn't matter. You told him what? And she gets upset, and she's like, you need to stay away from me and my husband. I am Mrs. Antonio Lopez Fitzgerald. I'm a crane. I can afford to buy anything I want, and what I want is for you to leave me alone. So this is a clip I have. This is the last clip for the day, y'all. Here we go.
can't believe you.
Believe it, Luis. All right, I'm a crane. I can afford anything I want, and I want you to leave me alone.
Sharon, why are you acting this way? Come on, we love each other.
Would you please stop saying that? Okay, I am married to your brother. Married. I don't have any room for you in my life anymore. End of story.
No, that is not the end of the story.
Please,
Sheridan.
Would you please just move on with your life? It's killing me that you won't let go.
What am I supposed to do? I should just walk away?
No, don't walk. Run.
Ooh.
Find happiness with someone else.
You know that there is no one else.
Yes, there is. There's Beth. You've loved her for years. Why don't you just go find Beth? Ask her to marry you.
And Beth in the background, like, yes.
No. I'm not going to Beth's. I'm not marrying her. There's no way that I'm going to marry Beth.
Why not? You've known her since high school. You've loved her for years. You keep going back.
I don't keep going back.
Yes, you do. You were going to marry her when you thought I was dead. And at the double wedding, you were standing next to her at the altar.
No, that was a mistake. And you're not dead, you're alive, and I love you with all my heart.
No, Luis, I'm not. I'm not alive to you. I'm married to your brother.
It doesn't change the way I feel about you.
But I will not break my wedding vows. You're never going to be able to hold me or kiss me or make love to me. You'll never have a life with me, so I might as well be dead to you.
No, Sheridan.
Luis, please, just leave me alone, all right? Go make a life for yourself somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I have very little to say about this. Sheridan makes a great point in that you keep going back to Beth, so you might as well just marry her. Like, I don't mean a great point. I don't agree with her, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't agree with her, but I do get where she's coming from. She's like, you were gonna marry Beth. You had no issues. You were going to marry her more than once. So
Yeah.
you can just do that. I've already married your brother. I've made my choice. And like, that was like Luis's whole thing before, was that Sheridan had made her choice. Therefore, he had chosen to marry Beth. Now, I disagree. I don't think he should marry Beth. I agree with what he's saying now, saying, I'm not gonna marry Beth. That was a mistake. Love it. Let's keep it that way, Luis. Let's stay that. Let's keep with that, please. I don't know. I can't remember how this goes further. I just remember somehow Sheridan ends up in a pit. That's really. I know she ends up pregnant and in a pit, and I remember Beth faking a pregnancy, but I don't remember how any of this works. I know at some point Antonio does wake up.
Yeah.
So whatever. Find somebody else, she says to him, and he's like, no, I don't want to find anybody else. So she should just let him do what he wants to do. Shit. Like, you know, it's his brother too. That's the thing, is like, you're gonna have to see him. Y'all are gonna have to be in each other's lives. So, I mean, it's his choice. If he chooses to just kind of pine for you for the rest of his life, how romantic, am I right? Like, I love a yearner. I love yearning. I love it. I wish somebody would yearn for me. That's what I want. But see, that's why I'll be single probably for the rest of my life, because nobody's ever gonna live up to like the level of like yearning for me that I would like to see. Right? I need you to be. It's weird because I want you to be obsessed with me, but I also want you to leave me alone. Like, I want to be left alone for a good chunk of time, but I also want you to miss me when I'm gone. You know?
want to be a super couple on a soap opera, on soap operas.
I don't know. They go through so much.
I was saying, minus like a lot of the kidnappings and triangles. Right. You want the love, not the aspect.
I do want like deep, passionate love. I do. And I've come to a realization in the past, I don't know, year or so, that I think I'll be single for forever because I don't think anybody will ever love me the way I would like to be loved. And let me be clear, the way I would like to love someone else in return, right?
Oh.
Truly, I want a very reciprocal type of love that is very passionate and very and kind and thoughtful and compassionate, and it seems to be impossible. I think that's the thing. I think that's a thing of fiction. Like, yeah. So, whatever. These two are in love, but they won't do anything about it, and it's driving me crazy because she could just divorce Antonio. It doesn't matter. He's half dead already. Shit, he's more than half dead. He's like 9/10 of the way there.
Yeah.
Right? Do it while he's asleep and you can't. He can't see you. He's not. Just go ahead and get it done. Get it over with. Just divorce him. Or not even divorce. She does not have to divorce him. She can annul this marriage.
Yeah.
She absolutely can. She won't. Same with Grace. Won't annul her marriage either. These women. These ladies. Well, you have anything to add before we move on? I mean, before we end it. We're done for today.
So there are actually two things. Because Luis and Sharon go back a little bit more right after what we saw. They go back and forth just a little bit longer until a nurse wheels Edna in the room, I think. Or Edna wheels in the room and a nurse follows her, and Beth has to run interference because Edna's still trying to tell them something. And Beth acts like she was looking for Edna when they wheel her in. And the nurse is like, actually, we're releasing her, much to Beth's horror. So Beth has no choice but to wheel her out of the hospital super fast and take her back home.
Which is insane. Edna had 2 heart attacks and a fucking stroke.
Yeah.
Yesterday and today. Right? Like, she had a stroke this morning. Y'all are releasing her. What the hell kind of hospital is this? Such a horrible place. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's best that she does get out of there because they're not giving her any real care.
Exactly. And the episode ends, at least with them, with Luis shows up at Beth's house and Sheridan goes to cry by Antonio's bed because she says she'll stay by him until death does them part.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, she goes to his bed to cry. Oh my God, Sheridan.
I know.
Sheridan, why are you martyring yourself to this situation? You never even wanted to marry him in the first damn place. Once you got your memories back, you didn't even remember that man. She gave herself reverse amnesia. I don't know if it's reverse amnesia or double amnesia, but she did something. It can't be not double because she like remembered her old life but then forgot the new life. So
yes.
So it's like reverse amnesia. But like, God, I'm sorry. This just frustrates me. I'm so sick of it. Also, I will say, I think part of the reason we got so much recap this week is because in about 1 or 2 weeks, we will see a lot of movement. I'm hoping that we are going to see a lot of movement because usually when Passions does recap like this, because it really was just like monologue after monologue after monologue of each character just saying like, this is what happened to me in 1999, and then this is what happened to me in 2000, and then 2001 and 2002, up until now, 2003. Like every single character was recapping their story basically from the beginning. And so I usually when they start to recap like that, we're about to ramp things up a bit. So I'm very hopeful. Very helpful. We're in February. These episodes aired the week of Valentine's Day, which is interesting. They couldn't do anything with Valentine's Day because technically it's still New Year's Day, right? Because the wedding was they wrote themselves into like a time box because the wedding, Luis and Sheridan's wedding, or Luis, Antonio, Sheridan, Beth, that double wedding was New Year's Eve. It was a New Year's Eve wedding, and so yeah, it's just the day after. So it's still January 1st, and yet these episodes aired the second week of February, right?
Exactly. And as you already say, it should be gearing up to give us February sweeps.
I think that's exactly what's happening. Yeah.
Yes, because NBC kept wishing us happy Valentine's Day on the little scrolls along the scenes or along the bottom of the screens, it would be like tomorrow, Gwen catches Ethan in Eve's arm, or Eve's arm, good grief, in Teresa and Ethan's arms.
Gwen catching Ethan in Eve's arms. That would have been interesting, though.
Which we didn't talk about Eve and TC and Liz.
We sure didn't, and we're not going to.
Okay. They really didn't have a lot. It was more recap and ended with them, with TC and Liz seeing David's hand on Eve's hand in the book cafe after Liz had just been talking to him about doctors cheating.
Yes, that's exact. Thank you. There it is. Basically, Liz is trying to break up her marriage. That's what's happening. And TC, somebody on the watch party said that TC is very suggestible. It might have been Daisy.
Oh, he is, because he's thinking back. He's remembering the way Liz was kissing him.
Yeah, and that is the exact right description of TC. Suggestible. He is very suggestible. If Liz had never showed up and started talking all this shit about doctors and how they have such demanding schedules and how it must be so hard for the spouse, he never would have started acting the way he has been acting. He got so mad at Eve in these episodes for doing her job, because she needed to be at the hospital to take care of Antonio, because even though his condition did not change, but but he was so mad at her. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm skipping it. I'm done for the day. I'm skipping it.
I don't blame you. That was it. Everyone just needs to know that David put his hand on Eve's awkwardly so they could walk in and TC could go, what the hell? Yeah. So it'll look like something weird is going on between the two of them, which something weird is going on between the two of them, but it's more like an AA meeting than anything else. So... All right, Shane, where can the people find you? We're done. TikTok, Shane Lee Miller 11, I think, or Shane Lee 11, something like that. And on Instagram, Shane_Lee. My last name is Miller, but I think I misspelled it, so it's just one L on Instagram.
Got it. All right. And you can find me on the Discord. Go to patreon.com/passionspodcast and sign up for whatever tier you find most agreeable to join the Discord. And with that, you are my passion for life.
Yay.